Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto was nine-tailed in Pokémon. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Auto-nin, link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Ch.1 Real Myths and Ghost Friends. Am I like a ghost? 4-year-old Uzumaki Naruto thought while walking through the streets of Konoha. Once in a while, he would get a hateful glare from people, but that was when people actually noticed the blonde-hair child. He noticed it started at the orphanage. The orphanage owner and workers would forget to feed him from time to time and had to shout to remain them, only to get scolded though, also fed and annoy the people however. Now, Naruto realized he seemed to have a lack of a presence. Half the time, he would wait for hours in the store. The Hokage got him an apartment after the orphanage owner explained he couldn't keep caring for the blonde as the orphanages were overflowing with orphans thanks to the Kyuubi attack 4 years ago and other problems in the ninja world to check out as the cashier would not notice him. And when the person did, if someone else came up, they would instantly forget about the child. Naruto didn't understand why people hated him, but he felt a strange pain by being so alone. Sure, no one really hurt him and the Hokage acknowledges him some, but for some reason. He really didn't fit in with the people around him. He didn't know exactly what love was, but saw mothers giving it to their children. He didn't know what comfort is, but could guess it was something given to children with a home and parents. He just had an apartment. He knew his parents probably did love him, but died young thanks to being shinobi, yet that didn't dull the pain at all. Maybe I can find those nice tasting berries again today. Naruto ran towards the woods near his apartment, pushing the negativity out of him. If he kept thinking of the past, how was he going to move forward? So, what if his childhood sucks? He will make the rest of his life happy. I need to make this hole bigger. Naruto grunted, trying to get through the hole he made under the Konoha's walls before getting through and sighed in relief he wasn't stuck. It took him 2 days to dig that hole, as he didn't want the Hokage to know he was leaving the village for about a year now and always going to a thick forest right next to Konoha full of all sorts of berries he found. He had been bringing some home to his apartment and trying to get them to grow in pots, and some of his plant experiment has worked. Ah. Naruto chimed, finding a bush full of round bluish berries Naruto found actually make a good healing agent. He was having a hard time learning to read, but since people hated him, he thought that if he could become a ninja that could heal people, then maybe people would stop hating him. Plus, if he became a much respected ninja, then people would pay more attention to him. Though these berries make my mouth dry, Naruto thought, putting a bunch of the berries in a bag he brought while eating on. He always left some berries behind. He continued to collect berries of different shapes and colors before heading towards a spring he found with crystal clear and very tasty water. Naruto blinked as he noticed it suddenly getting misty as he got closer to the spring and then saw it. Wow, Naruto was breathless as he stared at a glowing blue creature that kind of looked like a fox and wolf mixed together drinking from the spring. It had a soft-looking body with a long flowing mane and huge compared to Naruto. However, Naruto flinched when the beast looked up and suddenly moved forward for Naruto to see it walking on water. No way. So cool. Naruto thought before the creature was in better view, looking at him red eyes. The creature was blue with white belly on strange diamond spots on its back and legs. Its mane was purple as a crystal-looking large horn was on its forehead and it seemed to have 2 white tails that flowed forward like the wind wake 2 tails. Oh, Kami. It's a demon. Naruto recoiled only to fall on his rear end and one of the blue round berries fell out of his bag and landed in the water. Naruto watched as the creature looked at the berry and then went up to it and picked it out of the water by its mouth. The creature ate the berry before looking back at Naruto. Gyuun. Naruto gasped when a strong wind encircled the beast before it jumped gracefully over his head and disappeared with the mist. Whoa, that was totally cool. Naruto shouted, looking at where the beast had went, not noticing a small whirlpool with glimpses of another place appearing behind him. I wonder what it was. Naruto turned around to see a purple vortex in the water as a vacuum came from the vortex. Naruto screamed as he was pulled into the vortex, nothing left behind but the canteen Naruto was going to use to get water from the spring. Ow. Naruto handed hard on the ground only to blink to see where he was. What is this place? Naruto asked, seeing he was on an island with some trees on it and grass, but instead of water around him, it was just air as other islands were around him, but he saw they were supported by natural spikes of stone like people see in cave. Roar. Naruto fell on his butt again when he heard a roar similar to monster and shook in fear as a large gray and black serpent-like dragon with yellow spikes and horns with 2 over its mouth, spider claw-like wings, and its red eyes with black whites looking at him. Please don't eat me. Naruto cried, bowing only to blink when the monster picked him up with its horn covers for its mouth and put him upright. Ooh. Naruto looked at the monster before realizing something. Your eyes are like mine. Naruto said, shocked. You're all alone, too. The monster nodded, flying around the island and stopped before a bubble, and Naruto recognized the place the bubble. Oh. That's the spring. But, I don't see a lot of other bubbles. Naruto cocked his head before gasping in shock when the monster dragon flew at him. Wait. Ack. Naruto got knocked somewhat softly off his feet and tumbled to on the creature's head till he gripped himself on a spot slightly behind its head. Ruer. The monster cried out while flying forward, knowing Naruto had a good grip. Woo. Naruto chimed, amazed he was riding on a flying monster. No other 4-year-old could claim that without it being a lie. Naruto then saw the monster brought him to a village garrison of the forest with paths and such, and a lot more bubbles. He recognized all the bubble locations and then realized something. No way. That's my home. Have you been watching me this whole time? Naruto asked. On. The monster nodded. Well, I haven't seen anyone else here, so I guess you are all alone here. The monster nodded again, a sad look in its eyes. So, you watched life through these bubbles. And saw I was lonely, too. Naruto flinched as he got off the dragon and onto one of the paths. The monster nodded again, hyperlife flying around. You want me to be your friend? Roar. The monster let off a roar, except it seemed filled with joy. Naruto grinned at the monster, realizing maybe they were similar as the villagers often called him a monster. Okay. Naruto chimed happily. I finally have a friend. Sure, it wasn't human, but Naruto didn't care. Any friend now was better than being alone, especially one that was just as alone as he was. Pokemon too. The Sandame Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen was worried beyond belief. A week ago, Uzumaki Naruto disappeared from the village, yet no one noticed till 2 days ago. The Anbu found Naruto had left the village through a dugout hole and found just a canteen of his near a clear spring. That was where the trail ended and no other trails were left behind. I hope Naruto is alright. The Hokage thought, remembering the Hyuga event days ago, right around when Naruto disappeared, hence why no one noticed the blonde missing. Could the Kumo ninja trying to kidnap the Hyuga heiress was actually a distraction to grab the Kyuubi container, as it is possible Kumo discovered who Naruto's mother was. Aji-san. The Hokage snapped out of his thoughts, hearing a girl voice similar to Naruto's voice, to see the door to his office open before getting jumped by something. Aji-san. I made a friend. The Hokage looked down to find Naruto on his lap, a beaming grin on the child's face, but he also noticed Naruto seemed lighter than before. Naruto. Where have you been? I have been looking all over. Hiruzen went into father mode over the blonde. He was very glad Naruto was alright, but wondered what happened. I know. I had my friend seen me back, but he gave me a gift so I can visit him anytime I want in the Distortion world. Naruto chimed as the Hokage noticed a strange yellow crystal within a metal cage around the child's neck like a choker. What are you talking about, Naruto? The Hokage asked with a raised eyebrow before realizing something when the blonde shifted where the child was balancing on one of the Hokage's legs. Naruto, why are you a girl? The Hokage blushed, wondering what exactly happened to Uzumaki Naruto as he did the Genjutsu release, only to find no Genjutsu being used on Naruto or him, or even a henge. It was the price of Giratina giving me some of its power. Naruto sighed, pouting at the loss of being unable to peace standing anymore. Since Giratina is the guardian of the distorted world right next to ours, he has to stay there, but he saw I was lonely, so brought me into his world to play with him. He's so cool. He's this giant dragon. Oh, before I saw Giratina, I saw the cool blue beast at this spring, and it was walking on water. Giratina says it is a Sukyun. Naruto chimed before the Hokage ruffled his hair which grew out a little, and began to pale some as if it was turning white, some which the Hokage was glad for, as Naruto looked too much like her father who had many enemies. Naruto, that's quite an imagination you have. The Hokage grinned as Naruto's eyes widened in horror. But, it's all true. Naruto shouted, puffing out her cheeks. Giratina pulled me to the Distortion world a couple of days, which is why I have been missing. Naruto, it could have been a Genjutsu on you. An illusion. But, what were you doing in the woods outside of Konoha? The Hokage sighed. He also guessed if Naruto was attacked by a ninja who used a Genjutsu, the blonde somehow to bend the Genjutsu to his will and made it like a dream which he had escaped both reality and the ninja. I was collecting these berries I found and trying to get them to grow in pots at my apartment. Naruto frowned, looking down. So I can't go back there? No. You can still go, but I rather you go through the gate now as if something happens to you and you go missing again, we will know faster. The Hokage chimed at Naruto. But, I want to see these plants you have been growing. You must be very dedicated to those plants to try and get them to grow. The Hokage didn't notice Naruto's crestfallen look. Why doesn't he believe me? Naruto thought after leaving the Hokage's office and had gone into the wood area where she found her berries, sat in it. The Hokage wouldn't believe her, saying that a ninja must have kidnapped her and she was suffering under a genjutsu and got hit by a jutsu that messed up for becoming a girl. Even though the ninja didn't want her to go, she found that forest made it easy for her to think. But, I became a girl as by getting the powers Giratina, my body slightly distorted itself in the process, much like how the distortion world is like. Bending and twisting knowledge. The 4-year-old thought, her thoughts more mature sounding than before. Giratina also taught the blonde how to read as the dragon got pretty bored in the lonely world and such, though, since knowledge was twisted there, Naruto unknowingly gave herself a mature mind, yet still childlike. Boom. Back. Naruto jumped at the sound of thunder before it began to pour down rain. Oh, man. Naruto cried out, running into the woods to hopefully use it as a cave or big tree with root hole to seek shelter, but found an old, abandoned building that was several stories high and looked like a creepy mansion. Naruto, however, just ran right in when another bolt of lightning flashed in the sky and made more thunder. The RRR. Naruto shivered as she was cold from getting wet. At least this place doesn't have leaks. Naruto thought, looking around to find the place covered in dust and abandoned. Great, no lights. Naruto sighed, flipping a light switch on the wall, only to frown and it didn't come on. Naruto didn't like dark place thanks to the third Hokage getting back at him by dressing up like a ghost, making the blonde, though she wouldn't admit it, afraid of ghosts. Huh? Naruto noticed a light coming out from underneath a door and walked towards it. Maybe someone else is here. Naruto thought, opening the door for her mouth to water. Wow. Naruto chimed, finding a lit room with a large table full of dishes on silver dishes and platters, and the room looked elegant and well cleaned. But, where is the person who made this meal? I just can't dig. Naruto paled as the plates and such began floating and moving around in the air. GGG ghosts. Naruto screamed in horror, now glad being a girl as she can really scream like one. Naruto dodged the chairs and plates as they began to go around the room like as if in a storm and ran for the door. Oh, no. Naruto cried when the door slammed shut and while trying to stop running, tripped on her own feet. Ack. This is going to. Naruto blinked as she went through the door, stopping halfway as her rear was on the dinner room side and her front was on the other side of the door. Hurt. Naruto looked at her stomach and paled. I got to get out of this. This is too weird. Naruto shouted, struggling as several creatures looked at her legs which were kicking in shock and confusion. Haunter? Naruto blinked as a strange purple mass with scary eyes and 2 disembodied hands was scratching its head, very confused. Haunter, Haunter. The floating mass pointed at Naruto. How I ended like this? I don't know, but help me. Naruto shouted in anger as the creature grabbed Naruto's hands for Naruto to feel something grab his feet. Ow. Naruto shouted as tears of pain filled his eyes as whatever had his feet was pulling her back while the masked creature was pulling her the other way. Let go. Ack. Naruto was pulled through the door and tumbled back into the dining room which was back to the state before everything was moving. Snore and runt. Naruto glared at a black little creature that looked to be living in its own little tent thanks to the yellow covering on it. Naruto blinked as she noticed more creatures next to the small laughing creature. Are you alright? Though anyone else would hear a creature repeating a word, Naruto understood the creatures. The one that asked the question was another masked creature but looked like a purple ball with gas coming off it. Yeah, but I guess you are the ones who frightened me. Naruto growled while pouting. That wasn't funny. Pretending to be ghosts. But some of us are ghosts. Ghost-type Pokémon to be precise, a large purple monster-looking creature that looked to be the disembodied hand creature's cousin chimed. But, you also can go around like a ghost. Are you sure you are not a ghost, too? I'm alive. Naruto glared at the ghosts. I just don't know how I went through wood like that. Wait, could it be Giratina's power? Naruto pondered as the ghosts cocked their heads. What are you doing? All the creatures looked up to see a black figure come out of the ceiling. It looked like a human in a cloak but had no legs, beaming wide eyes with bluish whites and a strange red stones around its neck and flowing white hair. Darkrai. The creatures panicked. Darkrai. Naruto looked at the creature as it landed for thin black spikes to come out of its body like legs. Naruto felt a strange feeling coming off the creature. I told you all to not come in contact with humans, not even to pull pranks. The creature scolded the ghosts. Humans have lost their connection with our kind and it is better this way as the humans would see us weapons. What are you talking about? The creature known as Darkrai noticed Naruto. Why would people use you guys as weapons? Personally, I think some of you are kind of too cute to use as such. Naruto picked up the creature that was laughing earlier and petting it. Oh. A little to the left heaven the creature melted to Naruto's petting, enjoying it. You're not afraid of us? Darkrai asked, narrowing its eyes at Naruto. No. You guys ain't real ghosts. Real ghosts are white and really scary. Naruto shivered as the entire creature sweated. Plus, you guys helped me while I was stuck, so you can't be bad guys. Naruto said as Darkrai came up to her. What does the word friend means to you? Darkrai asked, serious as Naruto blinked before sighing. The friend is the most precious thing to me. A person who understands and cares about me, but most of all sees my existence. Naruto smiled. Just like Giratina, Naruto blinked when Darkrai got close to her, looking at her. I know you. You are that child I seen around this human village where everyone hates you. Naruto flinched as Darkrai let out a sigh. You are misunderstood for some reason by people, and hardly anyone announces you. If you promise to not harm the Pokémon that live in my territory, I guess you can feel free to come here whenever you like. Pokémon? Naruto asked, cocking her head. That is what the creatures and I are. Darkrai lifted up, floating again. I collected up a long time ago a good bit of information of Pokémon in the library of this mansion. Long ago, humans and Pokémon lived in harmony, and then something happened and humans forgotten about us after a horrible tragedy. Even though I rather that way, some people might find the friends they need like you with Pokémon. Darkrai's eyes softened on Naruto before Naruto realized something. Wait, is a Suicune a Pokémon? Naruto's random question made all the Pokémon sweat. Yes. It's called a legendary Pokémon like myself, as it is really rare for people to see a Darkrai or Suicune. Naruto grinned one of her big idea grins. Hey, is it alright if I move into this place? Now the Pokémon looked at her with suspicious looks. Someone is bound to find this place, so if I live here, then no one can knock it down or something like that. Plus, my apartment is becoming too small with all the berry plants I have, so I might as well start a garden here, as I think the berries I found is what Pokémon eat. As a Suicune ate one of these blueberries that dropped out of my bag when it surprised me by walking forward. Also, if I live here, then no one will be suspicious of me constantly going in and out of Konoha, and the Hokage won't have to worry, and I can be here every day. Naruto chimed as Darkrai, as well as the other Pokémon, blinked at her with shock. Don't worry, I'll keep the place close to the same it is, but make sure there is no leaky roof and the floors are safe to walk on, as the Hokage already has enough back problems due to age. Naruto sighed, remembering hearing pops from the Hokage's back when he got out of his seat earlier. Darkrai chuckled, understanding the blonde completely. Sure, why not, as you are probably going to be the first Pokémon using ninja. Not use. Naruto puffed out her cheeks. I think the correct term is partner up. Indeed. That is true. Darkrai sighed. Maybe, just maybe with Naruto's help, humans could finally come in harmony with Pokémon again. Hey. I'm Snorant. A Snorant. Naruto sweated at the Snorant, wondering why it had the same name as what it was. Let's be friends as I like you. Sure. Naruto chimed with a smile. She finally found that point in her life where everything turned for the better, and she hoped it stayed that way. Onaki Naruto. Hey, Aji-san, can I move into this old house I found in the woods outside of Konoha? Hiruzen gave Naruto a raised eyebrow as Naruto was standing before him with a 2-foot-height looking doll on top of the blonde turning white head of Naruto's, and the doll looked like a something trying to keep warm with a strange tent-like blanket. Snorant, Snorant. Hiruzen blinked as he just saw the doll moved, raising one of its round hands, as if it was saying hi. And, it also talked as well. Why is that, Naruto? Hiruzen kept staring at the doll, which actually blew a raspberry at him, which made the Hokage sure it was not a doll. At least a normal doll, that is. It's near the berry bushes I've been trying to grow at home, and my apartment is getting overcrowded with my work. The Hokage sweated, remembering seeing what Naruto meant, as it looked like a jungle of bushes when he went looking for Naruto when the child went missing. Plus, since my home is outside the village, then I might get away from the glares and such of the villagers and relax some. Hiruzen sighed at this. He was glad none of the citizens tried to hurt or take advantage of Naruto, but the fact people kept denying Naruto's existence and glaring at the boy-turned-girl was just as bad as hurting her physically. Plus, I made a lot of friends in the place I found. Meet Snorant. She got stuck here last year when she got lost during a snowstorm here and got left by the other Snorant while they were staying with the cold weather. Snorant runt runt. The thing called Snorant that Naruto pointed at chimed, eye smiling at Hiruzen. Snorant. Are you imaging things again, Naruto? The Hokage sighed as a vein popped up on the Snorant forehead. Snorant. The Hokage was surprised by a chilly wind coming from the Snorant when it took a deep breath and blew out cold air with some snowflakes in it, covering the Hokage's face with some snow. Snorant. Snorant. The Snorant danced on Naruto's head. Hey, don't use powder snow on Aji-san, Snorant. He happens to be the Hokage and you need to respect him a little. Naruto scolded the Snorant as Hiruzen wiped the snow off his face and stared at the creature in disbelief. Snorant lives at the place I want to move into with other Pokémon. Pokémon? Hiruzen asked, wondering what other strange powers the Snorant had. Yeah, they are creatures with powers and live all around us, but humans pay no attention to them and they hide from humans. I saw the legendary Suicune at the spring again. It's a super rare Pokémon and really powerful. Naruto chimed, happy to spot the blue beast again, showing she wasn't imaging things. So, the one about taking you into another world. The Hokage became serious. Giratina, the ghost dragon Pokémon, Naruto chimed, having read about her friend in one of the many books Darkrai has. It lives in the world reversed to our own thanks to reflections. It is the only Pokémon to live there and is the guardian of that place. Don't worry, Giratina is actually pretty kind. Naruto grinned, happy that the Hokage finally believed her. I see Naruto, I don't want you to tell anyone about this Giratina. The Hokage sighed, having a feeling Danzu would jump at the chance to learning about and taking advantage of this mysterious Pokémon. Why? Even though he gave me the power to go into the Distortion world whenever I want, hardly anyone can get there as Giratina is the only one who used to be able to make the portals to get to that world, and it also has to be done with a reflective surface. Hiruzen sweated, wondering if Giratina managed to also increase Naruto's vocabulary, as Naruto couldn't even pronounce surface properly before. Still, don't tell people about this Pokémon. People may try to get you to show them this powerful being and lead to a lot of problems. Like Danzu. Hiruzen mentally added at the end. Naruto remembered how Darkrai said a similar thing and nodded in agreement. But, do I also have to do the same about Snorant? Naruto asked, pouted while taking Snorant off her head and hugging it. Her eyes watering to do the puppy dog eyes which was one of the few weaknesses of the Hokage. No. You don't have to worry about your little friend there like the bigger one. Just promise me that you won't talk about the really powerful one from the other world and you can keep bringing the smaller ones like Snorant into Konoha. Hiruzen sighed, not wanting Naruto to be separated from her new little friend. He knew the two-person ninja council that is his advisors and past teammates were going to grill him about it as well as the Warhawk Danzu, but Naruto deserved the little friends. If humans were going to reject Naruto, then at least it seems these Pokémon would accept Naruto, and the Hokage was glad with just that. Also, he wondered how if this would help Naruto with training on becoming a ninja. Not everyone has a little doll-looking creature that can make a mini blizzard, you know. Yada. Naruto cheered as did the Snorant as the Hokage smiled at the joy on Naruto. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Aji-san. Naruto chimed, bowing to the Hokage. Hi. Now, do you need help moving into your new home? Hiruzen asked, seeing the potential that this could help Naruto a lot. Nope. I'll have my friends help me out as they tried to scare me as a prank by making me think the place was haunted. Naruto snorted as the Hokage raised an eyebrow, wondering how the Pokémon did that. But, see you later, Aji-san. Naruto chimed, waving while leaving the Hokage. I just hope this doesn't come to back and bite me in the rear end later. The Hokage sighed before getting back to his paperwork. He didn't realize how deep Konoha was gonna be within the Pokémon world even before Naruto became a Genin. Ch.2 The disaster of the Uchiha clan. 4 years later. At back you monster brat. You're gonna pay for this. 8-year-old Uzumaki Naruto was laughing while running as her partner in crime Snorant held onto her head as she ran from the Chunin after her latest prank. She even got an Anbu who was sleeping on the job with the paint bomb she planted in the teacher's lounge. And thanking the gods that the Anbu was too busy laughing his butt off to care if he was neon pink at the Chunin and room now in bright pink, green, orange, and yellow to chase her with the Chunin. The only people who could catch Naruto was the Hokage, Anbu, and her technically adopted father of sorts though her father of sorts didn't care for her pulling pranks on humans, except when it got her in a situation she would get hurt in like accidentally phasing through a wall in the Hokage tower after setting loose some Zubid in the mission hall and ended up several stories in the air, dropping to her doom if her father didn't catch her and got her down safely to the ground. Haha. Catch me if you can. Naruto shouted, finding an alley with a dead end and jumping up on a dumpster so as she jumped and phased through the wall, her head went above the wall and so Snorant didn't have to worry about being left behind. What the heck? Where'd the brat go? Naruto grinned, hearing the shock shouts behind the wall. They still haven't figured out I'm like a ghost. Naruto snickered while running back to the academy. Time to do the switcheroo. 8-year-old Uchiha Sasuke was glaring at a person. Usually, he just glared at his fangirls which were annoying. However, he was currently glaring at a kid around his age with almost white blonde hair that was standing near the bushes of a tree where he eats at lunch. He didn't know who the blonde was, but he ate near that tree because it was private and he didn't like people in his favorite spots. What annoyed him more was the kid was childish, holding some kind of weird yet cute doll. However, Sasuke raised an eyebrow when the bushes near the kid moved and the kid looked at them. Yo, Zoro. Sasuke spat out his drink as he had been eating while waiting for the white blonde to move only now to see two blondes. Both in their whisker-cheek glory. Thanks for covering me. Haha. Man. That paint bomb was hilarious. The first kid chimed, a fox-like smirk on his. Sasuke guessed it was a he face and dropped the doll which stood on its own to make his hands paw-like. It was worth going through the boring lecture. Right, ditto. Ditto. Sasuke watched as doll turned into this pink glob with a face. Ditto, ditto. Alright. Here's the puffin I made for you as thanks. Sasuke watched in awe as the first kid glowed and turned into a small dark purple fox with black and red markings and light blue eyes. Zara, be sure to share some of those with Zoro or can tell him hi for me. Sure, see you later Naruto. The fox to the bag of what Sasuke guessed were puffin and ran off with the glob following. Snorant. The strange doll sitting on the real Naruto's shoulders pouted at the kid. Sasuke, however, doubted the doll was really a doll now. Calm down, Snorant. I made you some, too. Naruto chimed, giving the doll-looking creature a blue color roll with pink specks that looked like sprinkles which the creature took and ate it. Now, I best get to class to assume my role of innocence. Naruto chuckled as Sasuke stared at the blonde who was running to the academy. Naruto, I know he isn't a part of my class, so who are you? Sasuke thought, determined to learn more about the white-haired kid and the creatures he had just seen. Lunch quickly ends, and Sasuke pushed the thoughts of the weird hair boy and the creatures as he goes back into the academy. However, when he entered the room, a conversation instantly re-sparks his interest in the kid. I heard that white-haired kid did it again. That's why our sensei will be late today. Inuzuka Kiba chimed. You mean the kid all the adults call Monster Brat? Nara Shikamaru asked, though not really interested in the talk. Akimichi Chouji was next to Shikamaru and munching on a bag of chips as usual. Yeah. He paint-bombed the teacher lounge, but somehow he was in class the entire time while also being chazzed around Konoha. I bet all the teachers are mad at him. Kiba laughed as Sasuke sat near the talking group to keep listening. You shouldn't be cheering him on, Kiba. I heard from my parents that he's cursed. Another shinobi in training sighed. Heh. Even so, anyone who can prank the teachers I respect. Kiba grinned. But, what do you mean? My family never talked about the white-haired kid like that. Weird. My parents say he is cursed and hence how he has the white hair and whisker marks on his cheeks. The other student continued. He lives outside the village and my parents even said that he is in contact with monsters, one of which is the doll he carries around. Heh. Yeah, right. Kiba snorted as Sasuke narrowed his eyes. He knew otherwise. But the monsters seemed more to be playful mischievous instead of being actual monsters like being bad. I wonder if my brother knows anything about these creatures. Sasuke thought, deciding to ask his brother before going to the blonde but his thoughts were interrupted by his fangirls which flocked to him once they found where he was at. Hokunerumon too. Aniki, have you heard of Naruto? Sasuke asked his older brother as they were walking to a training ground as his brother had a little free time. As in Uzumaki Naruto? 13-year-old Uchiha Itachi asked, raising an eyebrow at his brother's question. Yeah. I heard about him at school. People call him a monster brat. Sasuke noticed a slight change in his brother's eyes. He could tell some anger was in his brother's eyes, but also pity. Yeah, people can be really stupid and blame innocent people for things they have no control over. Naruto is one of those innocent people who suffer because of that stupidity. But, Sasuke, Naruto isn't a monster. I kind of think he is, but more of the mind as in devious kind. Sasuke snorted at the fact his brother thought he, though a kid with white hair and whisker-looking scars, was a monster. I heard he pranked the teachers. Naruto could be seen as a prank monster from all the pranks he does. In fact, one of my missions a couple of weeks ago was to catch him. One of the rookies from the Chunin rank on my team had his guard down and got tarred and feathered, but he got Naruto back by drawing all over his face with a marker that took 2 days to come off when we caught him. Itachi sighed as Sasuke couldn't hold back his laughter. Yeah, I had the same reaction, though I managed to keep from laughing till the mission was over. But, Naruto is just a nice kid who no one gives a chance. Itachi sighed. If only the Uchiha clan could be like Naruto, I wouldn't be in the position I am currently in. I'll try to convince father too. But, he does have these strange creatures around. Sasuke said, snapping out of his thoughts. Strange creatures? Itachi asked, remembering the strange doll Naruto had which cheered him on sometimes which confused him. You mean like his doll? Yeah, but I also saw him use this strange glob of pink with a face and a small black fox-looking creature to take his place at the academy, as both took on the form of him and the creature he keeps with him all the time. Now, the Uchiha prodigy was curious. 2 creatures who can copy the appearance of object and people. Now that was not something even an Anbu heard every day. But, I don't think those monsters aren't really monsters. I don't know. But, I should have. Berfloon. Itachi and his little brother hide behind a tree as the subject of their conversation happened to walk out of the bushes in the woods near the Uchiha brothers' training ground. HMPH. I thought they would be back now. Snorant. The doll-like creature snorted in anger. Well, the winds could have carried them pretty far. Naruto sighed before looking up and his eyes widened. Balloon. Both Uchiha looked up and were shocked to see 3 purple balloons with eyes, yellow X's mouths, a cloud-looking thing atop their round bodies, and heart-shaped yellow things on the end of what appeared to be black strings on them with 2 each. There you guys are. Naruto chimed, jumping tree to tree to get up higher before launching himself off the branches. Time to act. Naruto missed grabbing the strings of the balloons and fell. Oh, this is going to hurt. Both brothers ran towards Naruto only to find Naruto had landed on several large flowers. Safe. Naruto sighed in relief before seeing Itachi and Sasuke. Yo. Naruto grinned, holding up a hand as if nothing happened. Plume. Huh? Naruto looked down and paled as the brothers also looked down to see really large red petals with white spots. Oh, this is bad. Vileplume. Itachi grabbed Sasuke and jumped back when the flowers shook and released pollen which Naruto inhaled as he couldn't escape the large yellow cloud and landed on the ground twitching as the plants, much to the brothers' shock, got up. Vile plume. One shouted as Itachi and Sasuke noticed under the flower was a purple body with short arms and legs and had a face before the group of walking flowers left. Are you alright? Itachi asked once the pollen died down for both to find Naruto twitching, unable to move, as Sasuke poked Naruto with a stick. And no CC could YUG get the V-Vile W with L-Light Yellow L liquid. Naruto stuttered as Itachi realized the pollen had immobilized the blonde and looked into the shoulder bag the blonde had, shocked at all the vials and other things in the blonde's bag, before finding what the blonde needed. Are you sure you are alright? Itachi asked as Naruto was stretching after getting what he guessed was the antidote for whatever the pollen was. The doll creature was mimicking the blonde even though it jumped away before the pollen had been launched. Yeah. Even if you didn't have given me that paralyzing potion I made, the Vileplume stun spore would have only lasted for a few hours. I'm just glad they weren't mad enough to use poison powder. Naruto chuckled before glaring at the balloon creatures. Hey. Why you guys didn't drop to altitude when you hear me? Blow on Floon. All 3 looked down, realizing their mistake as Naruto blew out his cheeks in anger before sighing. Oh, well wait, where's the 4th of the group? Floon. Sasuke and Itachi looked up only for whatever to make the sound to smack into Naruto's face. It was a yellow version of the balloons, but with light blue where the yellow was on the purple ones. There you are. Naruto got the balloon creature off his face. How are you 4 doing? Naruto got technically glomped onto by the balloon creatures that had tears in their eyes and holding onto the blonde's head. I guess you guys missed me too much to enjoy your migration. Uzumaki-san, what are those? Itachi asked as Sasuke poked one for it to inflate and glare at him as if mad. He tried to grab on just to see how soft they were, but they moved out of the way. Oh, these are Drifloon. They are ghost flying dual-type Pokémon. Around this time of year, a lot of Pokémon that migrate by following the wind's current end up here in Konoha. These 4 I met last year and they got attached to me and I think now they won't be leaving me from how they acting. Naruto chimed while pointing up. Look up. Itachi and Sasuke looked up and they both was shocked and amazed by the balloon and plant-looking creatures floating above them, the wind carrying them. Wow. What are those? Sasuke shouted in awe. Drifloon with some of their evolved form, though they probably hid as I can't see them now. The plant ones are Hoppip, Skiploom, and Jumpluff, which is an entire evolution group there. Also, I think there are some Chimecho up there, too. You know what they all are? Itachi asked in shock. Never in his life has he seen these creatures and he couldn't see how he could have missed them. They were pretty amazing in his views. Hi. They're Pokémon. Pokémon really don't show themselves to humans much anymore and became adapted at hiding and people have totally forgotten them. I have the ability to understand Pokémon as if they are speaking like a human. Naruto explained as Snorant got back on Naruto's shoulders and the Drifloon got off, floating near the white blonde. But, why are you here? Naruto asked while Sasuke and Itachi sweated. We were heading to a training ground near here when we saw you and was wondering what you are doing. Itachi said as Sasuke looked down. But, is that creature on your shoulders a Pokémon as well? Itachi pointed at the doll-like creature. Yes. This is Snorant. She's an ice type. Naruto chimed. Though, I'm trying to find a Dawn Stone as Snorant wants to evolve into a Frostless. Yeah. I want to be a pretty Frostless. Snorant chimed, though the Uchiha didn't understand her. All they heard was Snorant somehow used as words for a full sentence. Evolve. Frostless. Sasuke looked confused at Naruto, though he found these Pokémon interesting. Yeah. Pokémon can evolve into new forms over their lifetime. With female Snorants, you can use a special stone to entice evolution into a Frostless, as some Pokémon need special objects to evolve like a Dawn Stone for Snorant. Drifloon don't need anything to help them evolve as they will naturally evolve into Drifblim. However, the 3 normal ones have a charm I made from Everstone which prevents evolution as they don't want to change. Naruto pointed at the necklaces on the purple balloons which had a small stone on them, but the yellow one didn't have one. The unique Drifloon wants to evolve though, which I don't mind. It's rare to see yellow Drifloon, even with Pokémon being very rare now. Naruto explained. You're not afraid of them? No. I think they are kind of cute. Sasuke looked at the Drifloon. But, how do you know so much about these Pokémon? I studied more on Pokémon than being a ninja. I'm planning to be the first Hokage who is partnered with Pokémon. Naruto chimed. That in the first female Hokage. Both brothers paled as Naruto instantly glared at them. You both thought I was a guy, right? Both nodded as Naruto pouted in anger. Just because I'm not stupid and wear clothing that doesn't bind my movement, people think I'm a guy. Ah. Come on puberty. I need some boobs. Both brothers sweated, though understanding why the kid wanted such a thing just to be seen as a girl. But, I'm glad I found someone else who doesn't think Pokémon aren't monsters. Naruto instantly was happy again. You said you partnering up with Pokémon. Does that mean they can fight? Sasuke asked as Naruto nodded. Cool. I want one as well. I don't know. Otu-san isn't as cool about humans and Pokémon together like me, even though he watches over Konoha and its Pokémon, he has seen the cruelties of humans to Pokémon before humans forgot about them. Otu-san? Itachi asked before the hairs on his neck went up. Naruto, it's getting late. Itachi spun around as did Sasuke and they were shocked to see a large black humanoid ghost-looking creature with white hair. Darkrai Tusan. Naruto chimed, running up to the creature. I was just looking for Drifloons as they were back in the village. Naruto, what is that? Itachi asked, glaring at the creature as the creature glared back. Oh, this is Darkrai. He's a legendary dark-type Pokémon. He has watched over Konoha's forests even before Konoha was formed because it was his home. He even joined in fighting the Kyuubi when it attacked to protect Konoha. Sasuke sweated at the textbook-like answer Naruto gave them. I see. Itachi relaxed some as it seemed the creature was an ally of Konoha. Though, I haven't seen you before. Are you sure he protects Konoha? Itachi asked without emotion. I don't like the light so much, so bend myself into the shadows most of the time while I am patrolling the area. Darkrai sighed. I don't get very good reactions from humans because of my form. Itachi nodded, understanding the fact Darkrai looked like a ghost. Hey, how can we understand you, but not the other Pokémon? Sasuke asked, wondering how Darkrai was floating as well. Darkrai can use telepathy to speak. Some Pokémon are able to use it like very well experienced psychic and dark types, as well as some legendary Pokémon like Darkrai. Naruto explained before yawning. Otu-san, can you carry me home? I'm tired. Hi. Darkrai picked Naruto up, who held onto him. Wait. How can Naruto have Pokémon partners, but I can't? Sasuke pouted, actually liking the idea of having a Pokémon friend. He could see that such a friend and partner would help him as a ninja that, and thanks to the fact he was the clan heir of the Uchiha clan, a lot of kids didn't befriend him, or at least that was what he thought. So, maybe one of these Pokémon would give him a chance. It depends on the Pokémon. Most Pokémon have lived a long time in harmony without humans, but if some wish to befriend humans, then I am not against it. However, hurt any Pokémon on purpose, and then you have a problem with me. The same with Naruto. Darkrai bowed politely. Excuse us, but it is time for us to go home. Darkrai flew into the air with the Drifloon slowly following and disappeared with Naruto. Itachi frowned, sweating. He's an overprotective dad. Well, she is a girl and treated badly, so maybe that's why Itachi noticed the position of the sun and sighed. I'm sorry, Sasuke, but it seems we didn't get to train as it's time to go home. It's alright. That was so cool. Sasuke chimed as Itachi smiled at his brother's reaction at Darkrai. Yeah, that was kind of cool. Itachi sighed, agreeing with his brother. He made a mental note to pay more attention to his surroundings. Absol. Both brothers blinked when a white fur, dog-looking creature with a black face with a black scythe coming off the right side of its head, red eyes, and a black sword-like tail appeared before them. Whoa. Another Pokémon. Sasuke shouted as Itachi got into a position of self-defense, staring into the creature's eyes while getting in front of his brother. Absol for a few minutes, nothing had happened, but then the creature ran off into the woods, leaving the brothers alone. Was it me or was it trying to tell me something? Itachi thought, dropping his guard. Let's go, Sasuke. Itachi let out a sigh before feeling a pull on his pants leg. Aniki? I want to ride on your shoulders. Itachi only smiled at his brother's antics, knowing he was completing Darkrai with his own older brother. Alright. But, no begging me to train you tomorrow. Sasuke nodded while getting Sasuke on his shoulders and heading home. Honaki Naruto. Sasuke looked around the academy for Naruto after school, wanting to tell the blonde-hair girl of the Pokémon his brother and he saw yesterday. Where is that blonde? Ah. Sasuke ran towards the swing where Naruto was working on something with the Drifloon hanging onto the rope of the swing while relaxing. Hello. Naruto looked up when Snorant said that and saw Sasuke running up. Naruto. Hey. Sasuke chimed as Naruto nodded at him, going back to her work. Huh. What are you working on? Sasuke asked, noticed Naruto had a scroll out for some kind of jutsu and had the parts for some kind of ball-like contain over it on her lap. I'm trying to invent the ninja version of a pokeball. Naruto said as if it was normal. A pokeball? Sasuke raised an eyebrow. It's something people in the past used to catch Pokémon, yet make it easy to transport them. I'm reinventing them as they could be useful for me to bring large Pokémon around, but not hamper my stealth as well as get my Pokémon partners out of the way of dangerous situations. Naruto explained, craving markings inside the sphere parts. However, the technology once used for this is gone, so I am subbing it with Fuinjutsu. You mean sealing arts? Sasuke asked, moving slightly away from the blonde. He remembered reading that it is not wise for people to be messing with the sealing arts till older, as Fuinjutsu was dangerous if not carefully done. Yeah. I've been working on this for a while, so I got the basics of Fuinjutsu down. But, I think I almost got this down. Naruto chimed, finishing up on the craving. And what if it doesn't work? Sasuke asked, a bit uneasy near the blonde who was working with something pretty dangerous. Worse, it explodes in my face like the last few failures. Nothing life-threatening yet, though. I'm also working on making tag bombs. My first paint version one went off without a hitch yesterday. Naruto chimed, done with the craving and putting the ball together. Sasuke nodded, remembering the blonde pulled a prank yesterday involving a paint bomb. Maybe this girl was better than his fangirls as she at least was showing the potential of being a prodigy at seals, being able to make a paint version of an explosive tag. Here we go. Naruto chimed, done with the ball which was orange with red markings. Alright, Snorant. Let's see if this work. Naruto pushed chakra into the ball and opened it for a white light to hit Snorant and Snorant disappeared inside the ball with closed and it shook some before it stopped. It worked. Sasuke asked as Naruto threw the ball which opened and Snorant came out with some light and the ball returned Naruto's hand. Looks like my prototype of a pokeball works. How did it feel, Snorant? Naruto asked as Snorant ran up to her. Actually, it was quite comfortable. I could even see what was going on outside. Snorant chimed as Naruto nodded. You guys want pokeballs, too? Naruto asked for the Drifloon to nod. Okay. I'll need to make different color balls, so I tell whose ball is whose. Naruto chimed. But, Sasuke, what did you want to see me for? Naruto asked as Sasuke remembered why he came up to the white blonde hair girl. Oh. Yesterday, I think my brother and I saw this cool Pokémon. It was white and had a strange horn on the side of its head. Sasuke shouted, wanting to know what that Pokémon was. Wait, Naruto pulled a book out and filled to the page which Sasuke recognized was the Pokémon he saw. You saw this one? Naruto asked, serious. Yeah. It hopped in front of us before jumping away after a little bit. This isn't good. Naruto sighed as Sasuke blinked. It was an Absol. Absol rarely come down from the mountains. They only do it when they sense a disaster is going to happen and warn people, though people often misunderstood Absol and call them the disaster Pokémon. So, you mean it was trying to warn my brother and me something? Sasuke asked as Naruto put up her stuff in her shoulder bag and walked over to him. Yeah. Show me where you saw that Absol. Sasuke nodded, wondering what that Pokémon was trying to tell them. He ran towards the spot they were at yesterday and both were surprised to see Itachi there. Aniki? Sasuke shouted as Itachi looked up from his thoughts. What are you doing here? Sasuke asked as Itachi let out a sigh. Thinking. I thought that creature yesterday was trying to tell me something. Itachi frowned, which is why I refused the orders from the Ninja Council and Danzu to kill the Uchiha clan. Something tells me that creature knows something. Yeah, it was. Itachi looked at Naruto. Absol don't leave the mountains unless trying to tell people of a disaster about to happen. So, it was warning us, but Itachi's sentence was cut short by the Absol that jumped out of the bushes and then jumped onto a tree branch as a large fireball headed straight for the Anbu captain and 2 academy students. Snorant. Icy wind. Drifloon. Group gust. The 5 Pokémon got in front and the Drifloon unless a powerful gust of wind from their bodies as Snorant did the same, but with icy air and smothered the fireball out. Yesh, we were almost cooked. Thanks. Naruto chimed as Snorant was hopping up and down happily. Who's there? Itachi asked, narrowing his eyes while looking at the bushes where the fireball had come from with a kunai pulled out. This is pretty interesting. I wasn't expecting a white beast to get in my way and now I have 3 witnesses to seeing me here. A man wearing an orange mask with strange bold lines going towards the only eye hole on the right and long spiky dark hair, as well as wearing a cloak with red clouds on the black background. But, lucky, too, or you are supposed to die today anyways. His aura isn't right. Naruto thought, closing her eyes for everything to flare up iron blue, showing the shapes around her. Naruto learned how to use aura from a Lucario who meditates near where she lives and found she also gained the ability to use attacks similar to Pokémon, too. However, where Itachi and Sasuke's aura was dark blue, the man in the mask has a very dark aura and it frightens her as his aura was strong, meaning he was a powerful ninja. We need to get out of here. This guy is way out of our lead. Naruto said, in a position in case she needed to attack. Absol. The Absol launched a ball of purple energy at the masked man which the man dodged. You're the person who understands us, Pokémon. You need to warn the Uchiha clan. They are about to be massacred by this man and his fellow traitor. I will try to hold this one off as long as I can. Hi. Sasuke. We got to go to your family. They're in danger. Naruto shouted as Sasuke looked at Naruto with horror. Sasuke, go with Uzumaki-san. Itachi narrowed his eyes. Did the council find someone else to kill the Uchiha clan? Sasuke nodded and ran off with Naruto towards the Uchiha compound. Absol. Absol landed next to Itachi. So, sacrificing yourself to let your sibling and his friend get away. How noble, the masked man sighed. Like I care, Itachi sighed as Absol launched a blade of wind from its side-like horn at the man before he charged forward. I just hope Sasuke is safe. Naruto. Man. Wait up. Sasuke panted, finding Naruto was pretty quick on her feet as they ran towards the Uchiha compound as the sun was beginning to set. We can't. There's another person working with that guy and he is probably already heading for the Uchiha compound. Naruto shouted before closing her eyes for her to see aura. Hey. Don't close your eyes. You'll run into something. Sasuke panicked as they got to the Uchiha compound and from outside the main wall, he could see the lights in the houses were out. Oh wait. Naruto. That's the what? Sasuke shouted in shock as Naruto bolted through the wall as if it wasn't there. What the heck? Sasuke ran to the entrance and gasped when he saw dead bodies. No. Sasuke shouted, running towards his house as Naruto's Pokémon friends followed him. There. Naruto focused on the dark aura that had to be the masked man's comrade and saw he was about to kill two people while running through walls of house. Itachi. What are you doing? Fugaku shouted, holding his leg which both had a bad gash thanks to pushing his wife out of the way for his lower legs to get slashed while also trying to get out of the way. He glared at his son who was in his Anbu gear and holding a bloody sword. HMPH. Itachi grunted, raising his sword to kill his mother and father. Die. Not so fast. A white blonde-haired child got in front of the Uchiha clan head and his wife and raised his arm for the blade to go through but got stuck between the arms, causing blood to come out where the blade was in the arm but there was not cut where the blade went in. What the? Itachi looked at the blonde, trying to get his blade out but his activated Sharingan showed that the blonde was focusing something similar to chakra into his bones of his arms to harden them enough to trap the blade between the lower arm bones. Get out of here. The boy shouted, his eyes closed as Fugaku realized who it was. Here the Fugaku and Makoto heard the door swung open and looked to see Sasuke with several creatures. Sasuke. Get back. Itachi. Who the heck are you? Imposter. Sasuke shouted, pointing at the fake Itachi as he just left the real one. Sasuke. Get them out of here, now. Naruto shouted, gritting her teeth in pain, forming a ball of purplish aura in her hand and firing it at the imposter. Back. The imposter was knocked back as Naruto pulled back as Makoto helped Fugaku up and left the room with Sasuke. Snorant. Snorant iced the room with icy wind, trapping the imposter's legs in ice, which surprised the man as Naruto and her Pokémon followed Sasuke and his family. Sasuke, what do you mean that man is not Itachi? Makoto asked as they got outside. Itachi is facing this other guy in the woods. Sasuke explained before seeing Naruto with the sword still stuck in her arms. Naruto. Could you please remove this sword from between both my arms radius and ulna? Naruto hissed in pain as Sasuke paled before swiftly taking the blade out. Ow, thanks. Naruto then sensed something similar to one of Giratina's portal. There. Naruto confused the family before Fugaku, Makoto, and Sasuke were shocked when the masked man Sasuke and Naruto saw before appeared and tossed Itachi to the side, though Itachi had a gash on his face and his right arm had a bad burn. Itachi. Makoto shouted as the fake Itachi who had managed to escape the ice come outside. What the? Well, it seems the only ones left is the clan head family. The masked man chuckled while Naruto's eyes narrowed. This guy, his chakra and aura shows he is very dangerous. We need to get out of here. Naruto noticed that the glass was making a gentle reflection close to Itachi and was big enough. I hope this works. Naruto focused her chakra into the orb in her chakra which glowed, making into an unnoticeable beacon to the humans and Pokémon around her. We need to get near Itachi. Huh? Fugaku looked at Naruto, who was looking straight ahead at the masked man. Does this brat have a plan? And this brat isn't even panicking in such a situation. You're the bastard that unleashed the Kyuubi. The masked man jumped out of the way of an attack from behind. That was a blue ball of energy which Naruto recognized. A blue and black bipedal canine landed on the ground with a spike on the back of its front paws and chest as its red eyes glared at the masked man. The most noticeable of the creature was several scars and had a cloth around its back to keep two objects on its back. Lucario. Naruto shouted at the old Pokémon who lived in Konoha's woods. The rare female Lucario told her about her own parents, having been friends with them, and taught her how to use aura as she noticed Naruto's chakra was pretty off, so aura could be her fallback as his chakra control was shot. Naruto, get out of here. This man is the very man who caused the Kyuubi attack. Lucario growled, charging another aura sphere. I am not going to let you kill any more of my friends. The masked man dodged the sphere. What? Heh. Prepare to die. Sasuke dropped the sword he had in his hands as the fake Itachi was make hand signs for a jutsu and aiming at Sasuke to get him out of the way. Sasuke. Itachi got up, running towards his little brother. Absol. Ah. The fake got hit in the back by a razor wind from a panting and slightly burnt Absol with a slightly broken horn as Itachi grabbed the sword Sasuke dropped and slashed his impostor down with a cut through the chest and nearly beheading the impostor. Itachi was shocked when the powerful hinge on the impostor to drop to expose the one person he never expected. Shisui. Itachi stuttered, looking at the corpse of his best friend. He remembered Shisui was very dedicated to the clan. He couldn't see why Shisui would kill the very clan he loved. Itachi flinched as his eyes suddenly hurt, flashing to a strange form of the Sharingan before turning back to normal as his head suddenly ached. Are you alright? Itachi blinked when he saw Absol jump down next to him. Thanks for saving me from that attack before. You're welcome. Itachi answered as Absol blinked as well. This is awkward. Very. Itachi looked back at the masked man who was dodged the rapid attacks from the Lucario. But, we still have him to deal with. No. We need to get out of here. Naruto ran over to the glass near them. He's way too strong. Lucario. Come over here. We need to get out of here. Naruto shouted at the canine as the surviving Uchiha went over to her with her Pokémon and the Absol coming near her. Heh. I'm sorry Naruto. But either I am going to die here either killing this man or not. Lucario smirked, undoing the cloth and tossing it to Naruto, which she catches 2 eggs. One with Lucario's coloring and another with blue and yellow. If my eggs ever hatch, take good care of them. Since Ampharos and our 2 human friends died, life hasn't been as good. If I can't at least kill this guy or keep him busy long enough for you all to escape, then I can die happily here. I can sense Darkrai is on his way now and he is probably the only being in this village with enough power to fight toe-to-toe with this guy. So, I guess this is goodbye. Lucario saluted before the Uchiha was shocked when somehow a portal suddenly appeared next to them and was pulling them in it as they saw it was coming from the reflection. Lucario. Naruto shouted before the group was pulled into the portal which closed behind them. What the? So, that brat has dimensional jutsu as well. The masked man smirked behind it. Well, I best get this over with and go. Lucario was shocked when the masked guy suddenly appeared before her. Goodbye, indeed. Whoa. Itachi found himself weightless as the group landed on a pathway in a strange world. What the heck just happened? The ear. The family looked in shock as a limbless dragon was flying near them. What is that? Fugaku shouted as Mikoto was just as much in shock, neither noticing Naruto wrapping Fugaku's legs to ease the bleeding from the injuries. I'll tell you later. The family looked at Naruto who was moving ahead. We need to get to the hospital as Uchiha-san is badly injured. Naruto pointed at Fugaku's legs. But, where's the hospital? Mikoto panicked, wondering how they were going to get Fugaku to medical help as it seemed no one was there. She was also worried about the dragon harming them. This is the distortion world, or you could also say the reverse world made by the reflections of our world. The family followed Naruto and her Pokémon as Absol let Fugaku ride him as he couldn't walk with his injuries. Once we get to the area of the hospital, I'll have Giratina make a portal to there so we can get back to the real world. Giratina? Itachi asked, looking at the dragon flying nearby. Who is that? The only being that lives here and is a Pokémon. Giratina is the one who is flying around us. Naruto said before noticing the path twisting 90 degrees. Watch it, gravity is getting weird here. The 4 Uchiha looked at Naruto with shock as she was now walking parallel to the ground after walking a curve. Gravity changes here easily depending on location. But, it's fun, except in this situation. Naruto sighed while the group followed her. You come here a lot, don't you? Fugaku asked, though he was becoming dizzy from blood loss which made him glad he wasn't walking. Yes. Giratina was lonely like me, so he brought me here. But he knew I couldn't stayed, so he gave me the ability to come here whenever I want and got back, but I can only do myself, not other people. I used the Griseous orb I got from Giratina to call him to where I was at, as even though the masked guy had a similar ability to Giratina and my own, it wasn't the same, and this was the safest place I could think of. Naruto sighed, depressed and holding onto the two eggs tightly. I just hope Lucario is alright. Naruto then noticed they were near the hospital. Giratina. We need a portal here. Naruto shouted for Giratina to move before them and unleash a roar which formed his purple portal in front of them. Come on, the portal won't last long. Naruto pointed to the portal as her Pokémon went through first, before being followed by the surviving Uchiha, and Naruto followed them through. Pokemon too. I see. Here is inside, sitting in the hospital room with Fugaku, and his family was in under ambush guard after Kano had discovered the Uchiha massacre when Fugaku and his family came to the hospital with two injured. Itachi made a full recovery with slight scarring on his face, which covered the two lines he had on his face, as well as a scar near his hairline, but hidden by his bangs. Fugaku, however, lost the use of his legs, as the nerves had been cut completely, even though the medics managed to save his legs, so he was permanently wheelchair-bound. Mikoto and Sasuke, who didn't have injuries, were kept at the hospital for protection, and the fact they both have gotten some mental scars from the event. So, Shisui disguised himself as Itachi and killed the clan with the help of a masked man. Yes. The same one, a creature that distracted the man as we escaped, said was the real person who caused the Kyuubi attack. Fugaku sighed. May I ask if that creature, which was a bipedal dog-looking one, survived? No, we found a creature killed there by a blade. We guessed from the way it was killed, it tried protecting the clan. Hiruzen noticed the only one in the room that wasn't an Uchiha with tears in her eyes. Lucario. Naruto let the tears fall down her cheeks. You know what that creature was? Hiruzen asked as Naruto nodded. Lucario stayed here in Konoha instead of the mountains after the Kyuubi attack after losing her mate. She knew my parents, who were friends with her mate and her, as they would train in the mountain area where Lucario and her mate lived, and sensed my mother in danger during the night of my birth and the Kyuubi attack. She told me my mother was the last Kyuubi Jinchuriki, and I guess that is why everyone doesn't like me. Sasuke looked at Naruto with shock, while Mikoto was shocked at what Naruto said. But, her eggs haven't hatched since she laid them a few days before the Kyuubi attack, so I don't know if they are duds, though Lucario always hoped they would hatch. So, Pokémon come from eggs? Sasuke asked, picking up one of the eggs which Naruto had in a basket the nurses gave her. Absol had been treated by a medic nin from the Inuzuka clan and in another room, because of how big it was. Yeah. Naruto nodded as Mikoto picked the other egg up. It's still warm, but I never heard of an egg not hatching over several years. Mikoto sighed, handing the egg to Fugaku, who also looked at it, confused as he too didn't know how that was possible. Some Pokémon aren't exactly flesh and blood like Absol and Snorunt. For example, my Drifloon are many a gas type as it is a ghost type, and some are made of different materials, like rock type Pokémon has some that are really made of stone. Naruto sighed. But, I don't know either. There isn't so much info with even the research material I have at home on Pokémon eggs and such. So, why is it glowing? Everyone looked at Fugaku, who was blinking as the egg in his hand was glowing. No way. Naruto got up from the seat she was in and ran over. The egg was flashing rapidly before completely glowing. It's hatching. Naruto said just as the light changed from the shape of an egg to a 2-foot canine creature, before the light died away to small blue and black coloring canine bipedal creature with softer features compared to Lucario. Riolu. The creature opened its eyes to expose large red eyes at Fugaku. Both Fugaku and the creature blinked. Is this a newborn Pokémon? Sasuke asked, holding onto the other egg. Yes. That's Riolu, the pre-evolved form of Lucario. Naruto smiled at the Riolu, who yawned and rubbed its eyes from just being born. But it seems Uchiha-san is going to have to keep it. Wait, what? Fugaku looked at Naruto with a raised eyebrow. He didn't hate Naruto for her condition thanks to the Kyuubi attack, but he didn't exactly like the kid either thanks to Naruto's pranks. Pokémon often think the first thing they see is their mother. Naruto said as Fugaku's face faltered. What do you mean by that? Mikoto asked, taking Riolu from Fugaku. But, you're so cute. Mikoto could only to notice Riolu's eyes to water up. Riolu. The Riolu cried as Mikoto flinched. What did I do? Mikoto asked, confused as the baby Pokémon was crying. Riolu. Riolu reached for Fugaku, who noticed it and took the Riolu back, and it instantly stopped, happy. That's why. Naruto sighed as Mikoto frowned, annoyed as such a cute creature liked her husband better than her. There's a theory that Pokémon can't see what is going on while inside their eggs. If that is true, then both the Pokémon in these eggs had pretty traumatic events happen to them and so will be very cautious of strangers. Though, most Pokémon are already naturally like that now. Other than that, newly hatched Pokémon don't like moving away from the person they think is their mother in fear. Oh, so, basically, it's stranger shy. Fugaku said, pinching the bridge of his nose. He remembered all too well how Itachi and Sasuke were as babies to strangers. Itachi was quiet about it, but always quietly cried and gripped like it was no tomorrow on Makoto and him when strangers came around him, and Sasuke was the crying and startled easily by strangers and totally afraid of them for some time, till both grew out of it. Yeah. Once socialized, they get better though the rate is different for every Pokémon. Naruto sighed before Sasuke gasped as the egg in his hands glowed. Hey. This one is hatching. Sasuke chimed as everyone turned to him just as his egg glowed and turned into a fluffy sheep with yellow wool, blue skin, and strange side horns on its head, black and yellow striped like its tail with a yellow orb on the end. What? Sasuke had a shock face at the sheep as he was expecting another Riolu. Mareep. The sheep yawned before blinking at Sasuke. Mareep. The sheep cocked its head at Sasuke. And then Naruto. What's with this? I thought this was Lucario's egg. Sasuke asked, tears in his eyes as he was wondering if this was a prank. It is. Lucario's mate was an Ampharos. It's an electric-type Pokémon. Mareep is its first form and in your hands. It produces electricity for its attack from its will. Naruto explained as Sasuke raised an eyebrow. So, you mean it's like when I rubbed my wool socks on the floor rug and zapped Itachi when he was napping? Itachi instantly glared at Sasuke, remembering that little prank his brother pulled while a toddler. Tenfold. But, newborn electric types can't handle using their electric powers till they are a bit older. Using them beforehand can cause them to tire out. Naruto explained. Mareep. Mareep chimed at Sasuke, gagging its tail which the orb on it lit up some. Huh? Its tail is lit. Sasuke blinked, confused as to how that is possible. Yeah. When Mareep goes through complete evolution into an Ampharos, it is known as the light Pokémon, as it would use its tail as a light to guide lost Pokémon and people home. Naruto smiled, feeling better. That's cool. Sasuke chimed, holding on to Mareep. Yeah. Also, buy a rubber brush. I tried brushing an electric-type Pokémon once with a metal brush and got zapped. Naruto sighed, scratching the back of her head while looking away with embarrassment. The Hokage smiled as Sasuke and Naruto talked. At least a tiny double miracle is helping with the pain. Hiruzen looked at Fugaku who looked at Riolu who was content to sitting on his lap. Well, thank you for telling me what happened, Fugaku-san. At least now we somewhat know who is the real cause of the Kyuubi attack. Yes. Fugaku sighed. He personally did not like the Senju-style Ran system of Konoha, and the Uchiha was planning to overthrow Konoha, but right now Fugaku looked at his younger son who was beaming with joy. Maybe I can change it around. Right now, my family is more important than my old grudges. Absol. The adults in the room sweated as Absol managed to open the door and walked over to Itachi. Absol. You want to stay around me? Itachi asked as both his parents and his brother gasped while the Hokage raised an eye and Naruto just looked at the Uchiha with confusion. Absol. Absol nodded in agreement. I see, well, that makes 3 Pokémon staying at the Uchiha compound. Itachi sighed before noticing the reactions in the room. What? Itachi, you can understand that creature? Makoto asked in shock, wondering what happened to Itachi. Yeah, though only Absol. I just thought I was imagining I understood it back with the massacre, but now I am sure I can understand it. Itachi said as Absol sat next to his bed. Wait. Did you get hurt by its horn anywhere on your body? Naruto asked, remembering one of her many theories she had on Pokémon. Yeah. The scar on my forehead is from grabbing Absol and dragging it out of the way of a fireball attack, which is how my arm got burnt. Its horn scratched my forehead then. Itachi showed the hardly noticeable scar as it was black on his forehead. Why? Well, Absol senses changes in weather and such with their horns, which is how they can easily predict disasters and try to warn people about those disasters. In a sense, that could be thanks to its energy focusing there, and like a psychic type, its energy went into you some to form a link with you. Since dark types are somewhat like psychic types, it could explain it. Though, it's just a theory. Naruto said with a frown. I can understand Pokémon thanks to Giratina giving me a small piece of its power which distorted my body, and I need the Griseous orb to keep my current form, as since I became technically a part of the Distortion world, my form should have changed exiting that world much like Giratina's. Now, this caught the attention of everyone as she pointed at the jewel on her collar. So, what do you look like without it? Sasuke asked, grabbing the collar. Sasuke. Makoto shouted, but it was too late. Sasuke accidentally took off the collar and Naruto glowed in light purplish and white light as her form began liquid-like and shifted till getting into her new form. Naruto shook, having been crept out by the feeling of changing. Oh, no wonder Giratina doesn't like changing forms often. Naruto blinked, finding everyone a lot bigger. Whoa. I shrank. Naruto looked around and then subconsciously flew up to the window and blinked at her new appearance. She was still her odd shade of yellowish white as her hair, but now it was fur. She was a small Pokémon that had large dark blue eyes, large ears with a V-shape of blonde color fur on the back of the ears, a large head compared to body, plump legs with little wing-looking tails which were cute, and she had blonde paws with 3 fingers on her front paws as she was standing upright. Her signature whisker mark smaller under her eyes, giving her a very cute appearance. Weird. Naruto cocked her head. What am I? I don't think I ever seen a Pokémon like this. Naruto sighed before she was shocked she used telepathy. Eek. So cute. Naruto gagged as Mikoto tightly squeezed her in a hug, squealing. Vivivai. Naruto shouted, trying to escape Mikoto's grip. Sasuke. Give me my choker. I'm dying. Naruto cried, reaching for Sasuke. Sure. Sasuke gave Naruto back the collar which she glowed, making Mikoto drop her, and she turned about to human Naruto. Why you okay? Sasuke asked, noticing Naruto breathing heavily. Never take that choker off me anywhere near your mother. Naruto glared at Sasuke while putting the choker back on. Sasuke and Marip's eyes watered at how angry the blonde was. Turn back. You were so cute. Naruto jumped, dodging Mikoto who was trying to grab her and take the choker off. No. Naruto ran towards the wall and shocked everyone as she went through the wall, and Mikoto smacked into the wall out of her own shock of seeing a person go through a wall. She did it again. Sasuke shouted as Naruto stuck her head back through, sweating as the Uchiha Kunoichi was comically crying while rubbing her forehead. Naruto, when did you gain the ability of intangibly? Hiruzen asked as both 8-year-olds cocked their heads. What's intangibility? Both Sasuke and Naruto asked as the adults and teen in the room sweat at the children. Going through walls, Hiruzen said, glad Naruto was still a child. Oh, since I gained my powers from Giratina. I guessed it was because Giratina is a ghost dragon type. A lot of ghost-type Pokémon can go that except a few like Drifloon. Naruto said as the Hokage nodded, understanding Naruto didn't say anything thanks to him telling Naruto not to tell anyone about Giratina. Uchiha-san, I need your family to promise not to speak about this Giratina Naruto knows about or the world she led you through to save you. If anyone asks you about Naruto's abilities, say it is possibly a new bloodline related to the creatures she has around her. Huh? Why? Sasuke asked while Fugaku nodded. You know people would try to use Naruto for her unique abilities and contract summoning of sorts. Fugaku said as Sasuke looked at his father. I will keep it a secret as well as my family. Such a creature shouldn't be used for war. Even I wouldn't be stupid enough to make it mad. Fugaku mentally added. But, I would like to adopt Naruto. What? Sasuke shouted in shock. Adopt? Naruto instantly frowned. But, I like where I live already. Naruto pouted. Otu-san and the others also probably don't want me to permanently leave either. Otu-san? Fugaku, Mikoto, and Hiruzen asked before all but Naruto jumped when a very dark shadow came into the room through under the door, and Itachi and Sasuke recognized who it was when the shadow came out and exposed itself as Darkrai. Oh, it's you. It's been a while. Hiruzen sighed, knowing of Konoha's shadow. It has been. I am sorry about the Uchiha clan. It seems that a cursed man started a wildfire near the forests of Konoha's livestock, as when I confront him, he knew where I was beforehand. He got away, but killed Lucario. The adults in the room watched as Naruto latched onto Darkrai while crying. Darkrai ruffled Naruto's hair. Lucario died. Happy you and her eggs were safe. Where is her eggs? Darkrai asked before seeing the newly hatched Pokémon. Well, Lucario must be smiling down from where her soul is now. But, the same accursed human the fourth and I faced with the Kyuubi caused the massacre. He knew I would have probably interfered as I watch over Konoha's citizens and set up a distraction in the woods I had to deal with as both Pokémon and Konoha's food supply was threatened. I see. I don't blame you. You have been watching over Konoha's lands even before Konoha was founded. The Hokage let out a sigh. You saved me as a kid when I fell off a cliff. However, Uchiha-san, the Sharingan is believed to control the Bijuu. Maybe the villagers and fellow ninja were right and an Uchiha did cause the Kyuubi attack, but not one will loyalties to Konoha. It would explain the massacre as this person would possibly have a grudge against Uchiha clan for being loyal to Konoha. Sasuke and Naruto looked at the human adults confusedly as Fugaku sighed. I wonder that as well. All of us Uchiha sensed something bad was going to happen and rushed to where we felt the Kyuubi was going to attack, which would make it seem like we were trying to control it, though some did try to stop the fox, only to find it was being controlled, though those died and we couldn't tell how as there are other methods. Fugaku sighed, having to agree with the Hokage, but there was one problem. However, I know of no Uchiha who betrayed Konoha alive or missing nin. Actually, I know of one. Everyone looked at Darkrai. The only Uchiha my Dark Void attack doesn't work on, and both during the Kyuubi attack and the massacre, before the culprit was not affected as well, meaning even with how old he should be, he still is alive and an Uchiha missing nin of sorts. Dark Void? Hiruzen asked as Naruto wiped her tears and looked at him. Dark Void is one of Darkrai's special attacks. Darkrai is a legendary Pokémon known as Nightmare Pokémon. Naruto sniffled while continuing. He causes people and Pokémon to have nightmares and can even force beings that are still awake into a nightmare-filled sleep with the attack Dark Void. However, Darkrai's purposely produced nightmares often are to warn people and Pokémon of stuff like disasters. Naruto rubbed her red eyes from crying. Hence why I try to avoid the human settlements at night. However, only Uchiha Madara ever been able to not be affected by my accursed powers, and I know he also can control the Kyuubi, as he used it in his battle against the Shodai Hokage and his wife. This shocked all the adults and teen in the room as Sasuke and Naruto didn't understand. He did escape that night and the criminal's chakra is the same. It could be him, or possibly a relative of his, though I believe the first one is the most possible from what I saw. Darkrai sighed. Hokage-sama, I would be at ease if you have Naruto move back into the village. Nuo. I don't want to leave my friends, Otu-san. Naruto began crying again. Naruto, there was 2 fires set, one that managed to become a wildfire I had to put out with the help of some water Pokémon, and the other probably set to get Konoha Ninja distracted, but since it was our home, the others managed to put it out and save our stuff there, but now it isn't livable anymore for even the ghost Pokémon. Oh, Naruto looked down as Mikoto smirked. She gave Fugaku her evil determined look which made Fugaku shiver and let out a sigh. His wife could, indeed, be scary at times. Well, I was asking the Hokage if I could adopt Naruto into my family and into the Uchiha clan. Fugaku said, noticing Mikoto smiling. But, I wouldn't mind also letting the Pokémon move into the Uchiha compound. It can lessen the effect the massacre has had on us as something else will be living there, though these creatures instead of humans. Fugaku sighed, not noticing Riolu was mimicking him. They're Pokémon. Naruto puffed out her cheeks before realizing something. Wait, if you are adopting me, does that mean I will be calling you Otu-san, too? Naruto cocked her head. Not exactly. It's clear someone else took that role, but you will be sort of like part of the family as I will be adopting you in. Fugaku sweated at Darkrai's glare. But, you will be an Uchiha, though you will be keeping your surname as a middle one, as you might want to have it for when you marry. Okay. Naruto chimed with a grin. I got 2 Otu-sans. Fugaku sweated, wondering if Naruto had attention problems. So, I have a little sister now. Sasuke asked as both Fugaku and Mikoto looked at their youngest son, as if he lost his head. Naruto's a girl. Itachi sighed, smirking as he saw his parents' mouths drop. BB, but I thought Naruto was a boy. Naruto is a boy's name. Mikoto said, her shock filling her voice while Fugaku was speechless. Naruto's body reversed in the distorted world, and now he's a she. Hiruzen sighed before sweating under Mikoto's glare. Naruto said the last Kyuubi container was his mother. That means Naruto is Kushina's son. But now he is she and possibly you hidden all this from me, Kushina's friend. I thought her child died and Naruto just picked Uzumaki as his, no I mean her surname. Mikoto growled, very furious at the Hokage. I'm sorry, Mikoto-san, but Kushina knew how dangerous it was for people to realize, even if people who she was Naruto's mother, let alone who Naruto's father is. Though, I was hoping you would have realized who Naruto's parents were in hopes of adopting her. Hiruzen sighed as Mikoto toned down on her glare before letting out a sigh. However, to make up for it, I'll get all the paperwork and such mostly done for you as fast as possible. You better. The Anbu guarding the last of the Uchiha clan, never seen an old man like the Sadame Hokage run so fast in their lives. But then again, not many old men were a skilled shinobi who still keeps in shape. Honaki Naruto. Oh, dear. We need to put in some ramps for your father. Mikoto sighed, looking over the main household which Naruto was amazed with as it was a very nice place other than what happened in the compound about 3 weeks ago. Fugaku glared at the step into the main household while sitting in a wheelchair with Riolu sitting in his lap. Even though he reluctantly gotten used to being in a wheelchair, getting his wheelchair over single steps was really annoying, especially with Riolu balanced on his lap as Fugaku didn't like spooking the small Pokémon. Also, he was too stubborn to ask his wife or now 3 children to help. Ching ching. Ack. Fugaku gasped in shock as his chair suddenly lifted up and floated over the lift for the chair to softly land. What the? Fugaku said as everyone looked at him with shock. Ching ching. Fugaku blinked as he looked at what looked like a bell in the hallway and then realized they didn't have a bell in the house before. Chingling. The bell hopped over to Fugaku and hopped into his lap, being smaller than Riolu. Oh. A chingling. It must have snuck in after the massacre and took shelter here. Naruto chimed as Fugaku poked the chingling, trying to figure how the bell was moving. It says you have a nice home and then saw you need help, so it is going to stick around and help you get up places you can. It's a psychic type, so its confusion can actually be very useful for you as Chingling can bring you stuff with its mind. But it's a bell. Fugaku sighed, holding the Chingling. Yeah. Some Pokémon look like non-living objects. Chingling will evolve into a Chimecho once it's old enough. Plus, since you stuck in your chair, Chingling often uses its voice as an attack and is also calming at times when it evolves. Naruto chimed, passing Fugaku and Makoto with Snorant on her shoulders. This place is. Haunter. The purple ghost Pokémon with disembodied hands appeared in front of Naruto and opened its mouth. Naruto. Makoto shouted in fear before everyone sweated when Naruto went through the creature. Haunter. Meanie. Naruto grabbed the sides of Haunter's face and stretched them. I told you to stop pretending to eat me. Naruto growled as the Uchiha noticed a purple gas creature and a purple figure creature that looked similar to the Haunter laughing at Naruto and the Pokémon. Naruto, you know that creature? Sasuke asked, running up with Marip in his arms. Hi. This is Haunter, a ghost-type Pokémon. Ghastly, its first stage, and Jengar, its final evolution stage, over there with Haunter, like to think of themselves as comedians. Personally, I think their show needs a lot of work. Naruto snorted as all three ghost Pokémon went into a depression. However, they suddenly looked at the Uchiha that adopted Naruto. Jengar pulled out a paper fan out of nowhere and slapped Haunter in the back of its head for its eyes to pop out with its tongue. Then, Haunter punched Jengar back who fell back and landed on Ghastly whose eyes bulged out. I agree, Naruto, they really do suck. Sasuke sighed as his papers sweated before they heard chuckle and turned to suddenly see Itachi burst into laughter. Itachi, you have a poor sense of humor. Fugaku sighed as all three ghost Pokémon swarmed Itachi, which liked their comedian act. But, then again, I rarely have seen you laugh as well, so maybe this is a good sign. Fugaku sighed before realizing something. Naruto, how many Pokémon is moving into the Uchiha compound? Don't know. A lot of ghost and psychic types lived in the mansion, which was huge. There were a few other types, but mostly ghost and psychic types. Naruto sighed as Makoto and Fugaku sweated, realizing they might have taken a bit too much at once. So, there's now a lot of Pokémon here? Sasuke smiled. Cool. Sasuke chimed, happy of making some Pokémon friends. Ralts. Everyone turned at the still open door to see a small white Pokémon that seemed to have a green helmet with a red horn the front as well as back of its head and covering its eyes peeked into the house. It looked like it was wearing a dress. Kirlia. A ballerina-looking version of the smaller Pokémon, but with two red horns and its eyes showing, walked in with a bunch of berries in its arms bowed. Kirlia Kerr. Ralts and its evolved friend Kirlia says hello. They brought some berries for you as thanks for letting them stay here after our home was burnt down. Naruto translated as Itachi blinked. I understood the bigger one. Itachi pointed out as Kirlia looked at Itachi with shock. How can a human understand me when only Naruto can? Kirlia thought as Ralts cocked its head. Absol's horn hit my head when I pulled him out of the way of an attack aimed at us, and for some reason I can understand him, though I thought only him. Itachi sighed before noticing the shocked expressions of everyone around him. What? The Kirlia didn't say anything, Aniki. Sasuke pointed out as Itachi sweated, wondering if he was oozing his mind. I think my theory is going farther than I thought, and the dark energy stored in Absol's horn is giving Itachi psychic powers or at least awakening such an ability. Naruto sighed as everyone looked at her. I mean, the doctors did say a fragment of Absol's horn is in Itachi's and didn't remove it as it is in a bad spot and not causing any problems except discoloring of his scars, so he can probably read Kirlia mind as it is a similar wavelength to Itachi's and Absol's. Another theory though. Naruto frowned, wondering at least now she could study not like crazy science kind people Itachi to prove her theories of psychic humans as it was possibly linked to aura, which she believed was one of the two parts needed to make chakra. I see, well, that's interesting. Itachi sighed as Kirlia looked at him, and Itachi guessed Kirlia must have wanted to be a partner of his like Absol from closing its eyes and smiling at him. He didn't mind as he liked the idea of being able to mentally communicate with his partners. Ralts. Sasuke blinked as Ralts held out its hand to Sasuke. Huh? You want to be my friend? Sasuke smiled as Ralts nodded. Cool. Sasuke chimed as Ralts tried to shake hands again. Oh Marip doesn't like me to put her down much. Marip helped out its front paw and shook it with Ralts who smiled. Well, thank you Marip. That works as well. Sasuke chuckled with a grin on his face. So, which room is mine? Naruto asked, wanting to put her stuff up once she finds out where the Pokémon put it. You'll be staying in Fugaku and my old room as we need to move downstairs because of Fugaku's disability. But first, you and I are going clothes shopping. Makoto chimed. I always wanted a daughter. I'm going to buy you a lot of cute dresses and I refuse to wear a dress. Naruto shouted as Mikoto glared at the blonde. "Oh, yes, you are." Mikoto began to chase Naruto who ran. Itachi and Sasuke looked at their father who let out a sigh. "I guess things will be livelier now," Fugaku sighed as both brothers flinched as they heard a thump and saw Naruto come through the wall with a grin and doing the V for victory sign with her hand. "Very lively, indeed," Fugaku sighed as Naruto ran as Mikoto found her, a bruise on her forehead, and chased after the blonde again. Auto-nin yo, done with chapter 2. Oh, Naruto knows about her mother being a container, but does not know about herself being the current Kyuubi container if you are wondering. Now, next chapter is the parallel canon. Wait a second. Grabs netbook, unplugs it, and calmly dodges shuriken. Yo, Mrs. Uchiha. Mikoto don't yo, Mrs. Uchiha me. Keeps throwing shuriken, yet is annoyed as Auto-nin keeps dodging. What are you? You're not from Naruto. Auto-nin, I'm not called a ninja for nothing, from marching band for nothing. Now, what's your problem? Don't you realize killing me means I can't keep riding, and then the few fans I have will seek to kill you? Mikoto, tears in her eyes, but I didn't get any Pokémon. Wah. Cries before pulling out kunai, I want a Pokémon. Auto-nin, who is sweating. Okay, sure, why not? Mikoto, I refuse to. Wait, what? Blinks, eyeing Auto-nin with confusion. Auto-nin, I was going to anyways, but it seems you want one right away. Sighs, slightly annoyed. Mikoto, yes. Next chapter, please. Auto-nin, sure, I was planning to start on the canon parallel story next chapter, but I'll do one more pre-chapter to show Naruto's relationship with adopted family and the Uchiha and Naruto's relationship with Pokémon as well. I'll give you your own Pokémon then instead of you getting one which Sasuke and Naruto find on a mission. Mikoto, yes. Tries to hug Auto-nin, but Auto-nin dodges like usual. I was trying to hug you. Auto-nin, I don't like hugs. Also, after attacking me, I'm making the next chapter a time skip 2 years later. Mikoto, oh, well. Puffs her cheeks out in anger. Okay, excuse me as I go find Naruto to dress her up. Run off with a really frilly, lacy dress in hands. Auto-nin, okay, thank goodness she is gone or my own mother would freak out. Sweats, finding oddly none of the shuriken hit the walls, ceiling, or anything at that matter as they were gone. Nani? Oh, well. I need some MLK. Trips on 2 own feet and hit floor hard, sighs in relief. Computer is alright. Man, that was close. Now, I got to put this netbook away and go play Pokémon Soul Sliver I bought with the money I won from scratch-offs on short vacation. Speaking of which, why is it I can only buy myself scratch-off out of the states I have lived in thanks to they don't sell them or don't sell them to 18-year-olds? They would probably ban me from buying them anyways with my uncanny luck, with buying my own scratch-off being twice in a row now for median winnings, 25 almost $100. Auto-nin salutes. Alright, review for me please. Ch.3 Path of a Unique Ninja. 3 years later. I heard that kid failed the Genin exam twice. 11-year-old Naruto ignored the whispers as she focused back on her Fuinjutsu book which her human Otu-sen bought her after failing again. When she first failed, Fugaku and Mikoto was furious, but then found the teachers had not paid much attention to her and let her slip by with just her base knowledge on stuff, yet not help her with Jutsu department and such which her E-rank Jutsu was horrible thanks to her shot chakra control. Even though both Uchiha complained to the academy, it went on deaf ears as once Naruto was adopted by them, many people respected the clan, except for the youngest heir, as they thought he could be the saving grace of the clan and revive it to its former glory. So, Mikoto and Fugaku as well as Itachi tried to help Naruto some, but sadly, Konoha's higher-ups behind the Hokage's back that is had taken most of the Uchiha clan's fortune, saying that Konoha needed that cash to lessen the blow of losing most of the Uchiha clan to Konoha's military strength. This meant even Mikoto had to take back on missions, as Fugaku could only focus on being the head of the Konoha military police with desk work which didn't pay as much as being on actual duty, and Itachi could only do so much as one person, especially a psychic with very draining powers. That and having 2 children going through the academy really made it hard to keep the cash in. Especially after the Uchiha compound was remodeled before the Uchiha cash reserves were taken and the bills were higher because of it. Though, I wonder what's keeping Sasuke so long. Naruto let out a sigh as Snorant looked at her while sitting on the desk. They left the house at the same time in a race, though she beat him almost always as her speed was a lot better than his own. She had to be to escape Mikoto and avoid capture from her pranks, but Sasuke should have at least been here by now. Naruto snapped out of her worried thoughts when Sasuke came into the room, panting. Hey. Sasuke waved at Naruto who glared at him for making her worry before finding out what caused Sasuke's delay. Sasuke-kun. Why did you run away? Naruto sweated as Sasuke was swarmed by the girls of the class. Sasuke-kun, want to go out on a date with me? No, go out with me. Ack. Sasuke managed to escape the mob and ran up to where Naruto was sitting, carrying Mary who looked just as annoyed as Sasuke. Man annoying. Sasuke groaned, sitting on the other side of Naruto, which was the end of the row. Wow, Sasuke, I didn't know you were a ladies' man. Naruto chuckled as Sasuke glared at her. However, he didn't have time for a comeback. Hey. Move it. I want to sit next to Sasuke. Naruto looked up to see a pink-hair 11-year-old girl along with the other girls behind her. No. I will sit next to him. A blonde-hair girl the same age snorted. No way, Ino pig. I'm sitting next to Sasuke. The pink-hair girl glared at the blonde. Nuan, Sakura. I am. Ino glared back as Naruto sweated. It was like a Zangus and Sevapur going at each other, but with words instead of attacks. Sorry, but I am already here, so I am not going to get up. Naruto sighed as all the girls glared at her. What? I really was here first. So what? You're a boy. Haruno Sakura sneered at the thought of a gay boy going after Sasuke as well. She after her ex-best friend Yamanaka Ino to be sitting next to Sasuke than this gay blonde. Ah. When is puberty going to give me anything in the T&A apartment? Naruto's head dropped as she sighed. I don't care about your opinion. I was here first, and it has nothing to do with magma duck that head over there. Hey. Sasuke glared at Naruto. My hair doesn't look like neither of those. Yes it does. A magmar has the same tufts on the back of its head and it looked like a duckbit. Naruto shot back boredly. She liked messing with Sasuke as he always was easy to. Wham. Ow. What was that for? Naruto shouted as the pink-hair girl that just hit her head. This is none of your business. Yes it is. How dare you insult Sasuke-kun? Sakura shouted as all the fangirls glared at Naruto. Because it's fun, all the boys including Inuzuka Kiba, Choji Akimichi, and even Aburame Shino, though barely noticeable, looked at Naruto with horror and shock, along with Hyuga Hinata and the few non-Sasuke girls. The poor Bon didn't realize the fuse that was just lit. You have no right to do. Will you leave Naruto and me alone? Much to the boys' and girls' shock, Sasuke snapped back at his fangirls. I want to sit by Naruto and, unlike you morons, I like Naruto, so butt out. Sasuke glared at the girls as Naruto sweated as the shock and broken looks of the girls. Sasuke, that was rude and mean. You could have been nicer. Naruto sighed as Sasuke now aimed his glare at Naruto. But, they were insulting you. I hate it when you let people do that. Sasuke growled as Naruto. He couldn't stand it when people shot Naruto down and glared at her for no reason. It somewhat reminded him of before the Uchiha massacre, which Sasuke noticed people didn't like his clan so much, but it wasn't as bad as how people hated Naruto to the point of ignoring her and it even slightly hurting her education. He knew Naruto hated being a burden to the family and failing the Genin exam twice really annoyed Naruto and made her feel bad about herself. Hopefully, Iruka-sensei will see Naruto's genius and help her out. Sasuke thought as the said Yumi no Iruka and his fellow teacher Mizuki came into the room. Though, Sasuke was also glad Naruto was in his class this year, though. Now, he had someone to talk to. Hope Naruman too. I take it back, I think I doomed Naruto. Sasuke thought after a few weeks of being with Naruto for the new school year and saw Naruto wet and covered in dirt after the latest survival exercise at the end of the school day. My fangirls. Hardly Naruto sweated under Sasuke's glared, okay, they sabotage my run, as if I care as they are acting like immature brats. Seriously, Sasuke, you need to develop a thicker skin. Let that temper get a hold of you while on the battlefield and you'll regret it. Naruto sighed, wondering if Sasuke was going to get wrinkles early thanks to all the brooding and glaring he has been doing since the war between fangirls and Naruto. Okay, it was a one-sided war, but Naruto really could care less if the girls hated her. She was used to being hated by humans. But, they are holding you back. Sasuke hissed as Mary growled some as both were annoyed with what the fangirls were doing. Not really. Naruto sighed, taking the balls out of her pockets and pushed the button for them to enlarge. Naruto opened them for Snorant and her Drifloon to come out before closing them and putting the pokeballs away. What matters is I focus on training and getting stronger. Naruto. Just drop it, Sasuke. It's not like they are hurting me. Naruto chuckled as Sasuke frowned at Naruto. He was amazed Naruto could just keep going with a grin on her face. I'll make your favorite rice balls tonight. Sasuke instantly smiled as Naruto was good at cooking. Their father often stayed at an apartment near the military police station the Uchiha clan bought after the Kyuubi attack, as work went into overdrive then as it made it easier from Fugaku thanks to his disability, so Naruto and Sasuke was often somewhat left on their own at home to take care of each other, while everyone else was busy. Which Sasuke didn't mind as Naruto was, again, good at cooking and keeping the house up, while keeping an eye on the money they have. Sasuke-kun. Sasuke groaned as Haruno Sakura ran up. Do you want to go out with me? No. Sasuke shot her down and grabbed Naruto. He knew when one fangirl was around, the whole group of fangirls would be there soon as well. However, Sasuke didn't take into account Sakura would instantly become mad at Naruto. This is your fault. Sakura shouted at Naruto, throwing a punch which connected to Naruto's cheek. Naruto just stood there as Sasuke became furious. Hey. Sasuke was about to punch Sakura, but Naruto grabbed his wrist while her face had a frown on it. Because of you, Sasuke won't talk to me. Sasuke shouted, wanting to know why Sasuke always rejected her. You took Sasuke away from me. Why don't you go away and die? Pant. Sasuke and Sakura looked at Naruto, which shocked them as Naruto was calm, appearing not at all mad about being punched. Unlike you, I actually have a real dream and goal in life which I am training towards. You just keep chasing a boy you like because you think you love him, yet you don't know a thing about him. If you became a ninja just to impress Sasuke, then you should drop out of the program. What the heck are you talking about? Sakura shouted, furious even more before seeing Naruto's emotionless face. It crept her out as if she was talking to a ghost, as Naruto was quite pale, even paler than Sasuke, in skin tone. Being a ninja is not fun in games. We will be fighting for our village and protecting the ones we love, even sometimes killing, even though I do not like killing. For me, my goal is to prove to the village my existence. I am just not a bane of their existence, but a person by becoming a ninja that saves lives. Sure, because I focused mostly on that, I don't do so well at the academy, but at least I know what to expect when I do finally become a ninja. Naruto sighed before patting Sakura's shoulder with a grin on her face. But, I must say, you have a good right hook. Don't let it go to waste, so train and focus more on becoming what you choose with your path. You never know, Duckbit over there might see you more of a potential girlfriend than just an annoying girl who is a Kunoichi wannabe. Naruto dodged Sasuke, who was furious. Don't encourage my fangirls, and my hair does not look like a duck's butt. Sasuke shouted, chasing after Naruto, who stuck her tongue out at Sasuke, as well as blowing a raspberry at the temper prone Uchiha. Get back here. Sasuke growled, leaving behind a shocked Sakura. Sakura blinked in confusion. Did that moron just compliment me after I just punched and insulted him? Sakura asked, completely shunned by what had just happened. Pant. Naruto panted, reaching the opening to the Uchiha compound. She didn't feel so good and felt lightheaded. She put her hand to her forehead as Sasuke ran up. Naruto. You're going to hey mom. Sasuke chimed, instantly forgetting being angry at Naruto when he saw Mikoto walking up. You're back. Yep. And with a friend. Mikoto chimed, holding up a purple Pokeball. Mom, why do you have a Pokémon following you? Sasuke asked as Mikoto turned around to see a small girl-looking Pokémon with a yellow and dark pink dress-looking body, which made it look cute, and a ponytail that looked to be a closed jaw. Maul. The Pokémon pointed at the ball. Maul. Maul says she wasn't going to let her friend leave her. Plus, she likes the ball. Naruto sighed, her face slightly flushed. Oh, Naruto-chan. Make another ball, then. I finally got not one, but two Pokémon. Come on out, ape 'em. Mikoto chimed, letting the ball open, and a pink money-looking Pokémon with long tail, which had a three-fingered round end that kind of looked like a hand, came out. I ape 'em. Ape 'em posed in front of Mikoto. It liked the Poffin I made for my mission and stole it from me, and I threw stuff at it to get it down and pay for stealing when I accidentally caught it, as it seemed I accidentally grabbed Naruto's newest Pokeballs instead of some smoke bombs when I was packing. Oh, I was wondering where they went, as I thought it was Itachi, as he doesn't pay attention when not fully awake. Naruto sighed, looking at the Ape-em and Maul. But, two shiny Pokémon. Man, lucky. I know. After I caught it, I let it have some of my Poffin, and instantly we bonded. Mikoto squealed as Ape-em hopped into her arms, and she hugged it. The Maul, feeling left out, hugged Mikoto's leg. I'm no longer the one left out. Mikoto chimed, happy that after 3 years she finally had Pokémon partners. The rest of the family had a growing base of Pokémon partners, but now she also had her own, and two cute ones at that. That's great, Mom. At least you won't be taking Naruto's choker off thanks to feeling left out. Sasuke grinned as his mother glared at him. Well, Ape-em is a normal type, and Maul is a steel type which can bite through iron beams thanks to its jaw on its head that looked like a ponytail. Cough. Naruto coughed, catching Mikoto and Sasuke attention, and they noticed Naruto was not looking well at all. Naruto, are you alright? Mikoto asked, feeling Naruto's head, to then realize Naruto was soaking wet. Naruto, why are you wet? I fell cough during a survival exercise, cough and into water. Cough. Naruto coughed, shivering from being cold in the wet clothes. Though I think I caught a bug as well, cough, I need to change. Cough. And you're going straight to your bed to rest. Mikoto scolded as they all headed for the main household. But, now that I think about it, this is the first time I ever seen you sick. Yeah, actually, it's also rare for me as I never been sick before. Sasuke said, looking at Naruto with worry. Actually, you were sick once, but it was when you were 2 and it was the chicken pox. Mikoto sighed as Sasuke blushed in embarrassment as they walked inside their home. Achoo. All three jumped and looked into the living room to find the possible cause of Naruto's illness. Hello, mother sniff. Itachi was sitting on the couch with a blanket and a lot of tissues around him as he sounded he had a stuffy nose. If you're wondering, I think a shinobi strong flu has been going around in the Anbu, as my main squad is also sick with the flu like me. Itachi groaned, suffering from a headache. So, that's why you didn't come out of your bedroom this morning. I just thought you were tired from your mission you came in from last night. Sasuke sighed as all of the Uchiha family discovered, even though Naruto was right and Itachi gained psychic powers from a sliver of Absol's horn in his forehead, Itachi's new powers were draining and take a lot out of him to the point he slept 3 days after using his psychic powers too much. Dad and I didn't feel well. Itachi said as Curlia came into the room with a glass of orange juice which Curlia gave to Itachi. Thanks, Curlia-kun. Curlia bowed as Absol looked up from taking up the rest of the couch as it was lying next to Itachi. Then Mikoto, Sasuke and Naruto saw something moving in the blanket. Bunari. A brown rabbit yellowish fluffy fur on its ear end with brown pom-pom tail and yellow feet jumped out of the blanket Itachi was in and shook itself. Oh. How cute. Mikoto cooed for the rabbit's eyes to water and it sat down pulling its fluffy wool-like fur on the bottom up to try and hide itself. She's really shy. Itachi explained as Mikoto blinked at the rabbit with confusion. I saved her during my last mission as she got caught in a flooded river and she had been attached to me since. Oh, it's a Bunari. It's a normal type Pokémon. Naruto then sneezed which made Itachi sweated as Bunari decided to stop hiding and cocked her head at Naruto. Oh, great. You caught my flu. Itachi sighed as Naruto ran off to change. Huh? Sasuke, where's Ralts and your other Pokémon? In there poked you. Sasuke sneezed as Mikoto and Itachi sweated and frowned. Okay, tonight's dinner is a KO. Mikoto sighed as Itachi and Sasuke comically cried as both were not so fond of rice gruel, even if it was healthy and good for when someone was ill. Onaki Naruto. Naruto Sakura was worried as was all the other fangirls. However, Sakura wasn't worried much on her crush Uchiha Sasuke than the strange white shade of blonde Naruto. Both Sasuke and Naruto didn't come to the academy the day after Sakura punched and insulted Naruto, and now it has been a week since neither had been seen, yet the teachers seemed to know what has happened and was not worried. However, Sakura was also suffering from guilt. She didn't know if Naruto committed suicide or something like that as Naruto was acting weird for someone who got punched. That would explain why Sasuke was so protective of Naruto. The white blonde could have been suicidal. Sakura. Sakura jumped to find Iruka in front of her. Sakura, everyone has left as school is over. Sakura blushed in embarrassment as Iruka was right and everyone had left the room. Sorry. Sakura got up, but Iruka stopped her. Is something wrong? Iruka asked, noticing the troubled face on his student. He usually could tell that something was wrong, though he guessed it was because Sasuke hasn't been in the academy for a week. But, then again, the flu can easily even knock the most skilled ninja off their feet. Why yeah, a week ago I shouted at Naruto and punched him and he acted weirdly afterwards and he hasn't been back at the academy since. Sakura looked down, fearful she did something wrong. Sakura, Sasuke and Naruto have been out thanks to the flu that's been going around Konoha. Iruka sighed as Sakura blushed in embarrassment. They caught it from Sasuke's family member and will be back actually after the weekend as Sasuke's mother kept them home today, even though they were feeling a lot better to make sure the flu was out of their systems. Oh, Sakura sighed, though still feeling guilty. Well, since it seems you're still a little worried, you can go give Sasuke and Naruto their makeup work. Iruka grinned as Sakura looked at her. I was going to run and deliver it myself, but a last-minute meeting came up. So, can you do that for me? Hi. Sakura chimed. This could be her chance to apologize to Naruto as well as get back on Sasuke's good side. Iruka handed Sakura the papers and notes for both Sasuke and Naruto, as well as instructions to where to go, and she ran off. Wait. He forgot to give me the directions to Naruto's home. Sakura thought halfway to the Uchiha compound. I'll ask Sasuke-kun where Naruto's house. Sakura thought, continuing to the Uchiha compound. Since the Uchiha massacre, only the Uchiha family has been around at Auto-nin, as many people could swear hearing strange noises coming from the compound at night and sometimes during the day. Even some Sasuke's fan club reported hearing some of the sounds and didn't go near the Uchiha compound. The reports of the Uchiha compound being possibly haunted was the reason why many children Sasuke's age did not pick on him for carrying the sheep-like doll he had been carrying since the Uchiha massacre, as it really seems the Uchiha compound was haunted. Sakura gulped as she stood before the entrance of the Uchiha compound before sighing. I can do this. Sakura sighed walking into the Uchiha compound. Sakura blinked in confusion after walking past a few buildings to find the Uchiha compound was full of life, but not human life. Whooper. Whooper. Small blue creatures came out of a pond as a pink cat tried to hit their heads before they went back into the water as several other creatures were running around and playing on playgrounds and other structures made from the buildings around them. Some creatures that looked like bugs were swinging on swings and she even has several canine and cute creatures like purple rodents sliding down a slide and other types of creatures playing. Am I at the right place? Sakura asked, pale and confused. Honestly? Sakura looked down to see a yellowish-brown tree creature with 3 pink balls on its branch on its head and it had legs. Bonsley. Bone. I must be losing my mind, I'm seeing a walking tree. Sakura sighed, walking past the tree with legs which followed her as she followed the direction she remembered to find Sasuke's house, or at least she hoped it was his home, and knocked on the door. Apem. Sakura jumped when the door opened as a pink monkey wearing a frilly dress which the money bowed politely. Oh, hello. A dark-haired woman who looked like Sasuke's mother walked up with a pinkish-looking small girl-looking creature with a ponytail with spike-looking teeth on it and it could open to eat things. Are you one of Sasuke and Naruto's teammates? Hi. I brought Sasuke his makeup work also, could you tell me where Naruto's home is so I can? This is Naruto's home, I mean, it's been 3 years, yet there are people who still can't get it through their thick heads. The woman sighed before smiling, well, since you are here, you can come in. Sasuke and Naruto will probably be glad to have company. Ibade. Sakura gasped, blushing when the monkey got behind her and pushing her deeper into the house. Drrr. Sakura blinked as she saw Sasuke kneeling before the living room table in an arm wrestling match with an older person that looked like his brother but had longer hair and a ponytail and older. Yawn. Sasuke yawned which made the older sibling sweat. Boring. Ack. The older sibling literally got thrown by Sasuke and landed on top of a white canine creature with a scary side-looking horn. Sasuke, what did I told you about arm wrestling with your brother? Mikoto glared at Sasuke who sweated. Not to do it inside, but I'm bored. Sasuke groaned as Sasuke's brother got up, rubbing his arm. He was also glaring at Sasuke before sighing and kneeling down to pet the now awakened canine creature. Well, one of your classmates brought your makeup work, so you can keep yourself occupied as you are not going out till tomorrow. Sasuke's mother snorted as the 2 creatures near here mimicked her to state the point. Huh? Sasuke then noticed Sakura and instantly glared at her. Oh, great. One of my fangirls. Sasuke groaned as Sakura flinched, though neither noticed the smirk on Sasuke's older brother's face. Oh, you don't like girls, Sasuke. Are you sure you are not gay? Sasuke's older brother poked his little brother in the forehead, only for said hand to be grabbed as he got through over the couch and hit the floor hard. Heck no. There's a difference between fangirls and girls. Fangirls are annoying and you can't trust them while normal girls you can give a chance as you know they won't drug you just to get in your pants. Sasuke hissed while looking at his brother by hanging over the top of the couch, which made Sasuke miss the blush of pure embarrassment and shock on Sakura's face. So that's what Naruto meant. Sakura was beginning to see what Naruto meant as she was wasting her time being a fangirl. Oh, so you mean you possibly like Naruto that way? Ack. Sasuke grabbed the sides of Itachi's mouth and pulled on them with anger when Itachi got up from the floor. No way have I liked Naruto like that. That's gross. Sasuke growled, his temper getting the best of him. But technically you can marry Naruto as it isn't illegal to marry an adopted sibling. Sasuke's mother chimed, joining in on the teasing, causing Sasuke to let go of his brother and looked at his mother in total horror. What? No way am I ack. Sasuke fell onto the couch from an unexpected hit to the head by Scroll. And you see they are teasing you, Sasuke. Sakura froze as Naruto walked into the room in a whitish yellow pajama with a strange sleeping cap with a face on it. Yesh, again, develop a thicker skin since you got such a weak control over your temper. Sasuke got up and glared at Naruto with a pout. I do have control over my temper. Naruto, however, just frowned and shook his head. No, you have no control whatsoever. Naruto sighed before noticing Sakura, or more of speaking, what was next to Sakura. Oh, we have a little guest. Naruto walked over to Sakura to kneel down for the walking tree Sakura had saw earlier hid behind her and began to cry. Bonsly bone. Sakura, instantly moved by the tears, picked the creature up and glared at Naruto. Sure, she still felt guilty for what she did to Naruto, but he didn't have to make a weird creature cry. Naruto. You're scaring it. Sakura growled only to see Naruto laugh before grinning. Nope. That's Bonsly for you. They don't like to get in trouble, so they use fake tears to get out of it as well as do it to regulate the water in their bodies. Naruto patted the tree's head. It's alright. But, it seems you found a friend other than the Whooper. What are you talking about? Sakura asked, confused at Naruto. This Bonsly is not just a shiny or rare coloration of Pokémon, but it's one of the few Bonsly that is not afraid of water. Naruto explained, though Sakura was still confused. Wait a second, Naruto. That's a grass type. Grass types aren't afraid of water. Sasuke pouted, looking at Sakura and the Bonsly. Though, Sakura hair oddly matches that Pokemon's leaves. Nope. Bonsly is known as the bonsai Pokémon as it looks like a plant, but isn't. It's a rock type that is the pre-evolved form of Pseudo-Udo, the imitation Pokémon, as it would pretend to be a tree to avoid getting attacked, but like almost all rock-type Pokémon, Pseudo-Udo and Bonsly hate water, so stay clear of it, except the one in Sakura's arms, as it got used to water to play with a whooper in the ponds around here. Sakura, however, instantly realized Naruto made a mistake. Wait, Naruto, earth beats water, not the other way around. Sakura stated, remembering the lessons on elemental jutsu. You're thinking of jutsu. Types for Pokémon are actually based on elements, while jutsu's types are based on how the element is used. Water beats fire as it eliminates the flames of the attack's specialized jutsu, fire beats wind as wind increases the fire attack power and made to cut and blow away, while fire has a wide range of attack, wind beats lightning as wind is stronger and changes the charges in the air for lightning element to work. Lightning beats earth because earth is mainly defense, so the speed attacks of lightning overthrows the slow earth, and then earth blocks water as it can block water, as it is more aimed at diversity instead of attack, as well as the fact earth can absorb water to make mud attacks. Naruto took in a deep breath after saying that mouthful, which Sakura didn't blame the blonde. However, in Pokémon, water still beats fire, but that's because real water does put out fire as ground and rock beats lightning, as it acts as a buffer from lightning. That's because Pokémon types relate to body composition and the attacks they mainly can use. Bonsly is a baby type of Pokémon, so right now, it mainly can use only normal type moves, but once it evolves into a Pseudo-Udo, it will be able to use rock type moves. So, basically, I'm holding a rock. Sakura asked with a raised eyebrow as the Bonsly was sort of heavy. Sort of. The bodies of Pokémon range from all sorts of types from fish to living inanimate objects. Naruto sighed before the sheep doll Sakura saw Sasuke carrying all the time hopped into the room, being followed by a white humanoid child-looking creature with a green helmet covering its head, the doll Naruto would usually hold with the 4 balloons that somehow Naruto had follow him, a pink egg-shaped creature that had a white stone in a pouch. And a greenish creature that looked like a cute baby dragon that walked on 2 legs ran up. Oh, good timing. Here's a good example. Sasuke's Mary, the sheep Pokémon, is an electric type as it uses its will to create electricity for its attacks, while my Snorant everyone sees with me most of the time is an ice type, as her body is made for the cold climate such types live. Wait a second. Where's Snover, Baltoy, Nadu, and Krogink? Snover. Another tree-looking creature, but this time it looked like a snowy tree and had arms was running towards Naruto, only to flinch and fall over with a large purplish blue with a black and 2 white bands around its stomach and black on its hands and its bottom paws, but its hands had a red finger in the middle standing behind it. Baltoy Sakura blinked as a spinning light tan clay doll with red markings slowly moved up to the tree with a strange green bird that looked more like a statue as it stared straight forward and had red markings and yellow beck was on its head. Baltoy. The doll took 2 white balls off the tree creature and gave one to the bird while eating one itself as did the toad. Krogink, Baltoy, Nadu, you should have just asked for Snover to give you some of its berries. Naruto sighed at the antics of her 2 Pokémon and Sasuke's Nadu. But, it's more fun to chase Snover. Krogink said, though everyone else hears bubbly croaking from the toad while saying its name. Yeah. I'm too slow to catch Snover. Baltoy chimed while raising its arms while Nadu, the bird, raised its small wing and mimicking. Is it me or all the Pokémon who are partnered with Uchiha like mimicking others? Naruto sighed. Maybe it's because we have the Sharingan we accidentally find Pokémon of that nature. Mikoto chimed before remembering something. Larvitar, I have something for you. I forgot all about it as Sasuke, Itachi, and Naruto was sick when I came back. Larvitar. The small dragon-looking Pokémon cocked its head as Mikoto left and came back with a bag which she gave to the creature. The creature opened it and its eyes lit up at the sand in it. Larvitar. Larvitar shouted before shoveling sand into its mouth and eating it. It's eating sand? Sakura asked, confused. It's like she walked into a whole different world when she stepped into the Uchiha compound. Larvitar is a rock ground type that eats sands to take the minerals in it to harden its body. Mikoto explained, I got that sand from Iron Country while on my mission as a lot of iron is in the sand there and also Larvitar likes it when I bring different sands from different countries for it to taste. It's kind of cute. Sakura put Bonsly down. Can I pick it up? Sakura asked. Sure. Sasuke evilly smirked, picking Larvitar up and gave it to Sakura who instantly fell to the floor from the sheer weight of Larvitar. What the heck? It's heavy. Sakura cried out, still trying to lift Larvitar. That's because Larvitar gains a lot of weight thanks to its body is like rock. Naruto sighed, looking at Sasuke with a sad look. It gains more weight from the sand it eats. That one weight's about 200 pounds thanks to it has been eating a lot of sand, especially of different mineral levels including many having iron. And, thanks to Sasuke liking to carry Pokémon instead of letting them follow him around like Naruto, his physical strength has slowly increased to where he now has strength similar to the slug Sannin. Itachi sighed, admitting defeat to his brother in that department. Sasuke was strong enough to throw him off his feet easily, and that's without using chakra. Also, Sasuke's cute little Happiny was just as much of a muscle freak as Sasuke. Happiny? Itachi sweated as the said pink Pokémon he was thinking about was holding his Absol above its head while running around. Absol, however, was not too happy about the free ride as it was no longer comfortably lying on the ground. Sasuke, could you please tell your Happiny to let go of Absol? Itachi sighed as Sakura gaped at how a tiny creature could lift such a large canine. Sorry, Happiny, let Absol down. Sasuke sheepishly said as Happiny put Absol down and ran over to Sasuke, hugging his leg. She was just playing you know. Yes, but using my Pokémon as boulders is not fun for them. Itachi let as Naruto chuckled at Itachi's annoyance of the pink bane of his existence. Ever since Sasuke got an egg from a Chansey he helped out and hatched it always wanted to play by lifting things over its head with its freaky strength, including Itachi's physical Pokémon and even Itachi himself. Well, it is just a baby. Sasuke said as he picked up Happiny. But, aren't you going to give Naruto and me our makeup work or just stand around like a statue? Sasuke glared at Sakura who flinched. Now, don't be rude Sasuke. Naruto sighed, picking up the papers Sakura had dropped to grab Bonsly. She was kind enough to bring us our homework. At least say thank you. Naruto only sighed again with Sasuke looked away, stubborn to say it as he was still mad at Sakura. I'm sorry about Sasuke's behavior. Even though he isn't technically spoiled, he does act like it from time to time. But, thank you for bringing us our work we missed. Yeah and Naruto I apologize for what I did and say to you before. Sakura bowed, shouting out her apologize very quickly. Sigh there I go. Cha. Please accept it. There's nothing to apologize for. Sakura looked at Naruto with shock. You were letting your emotions take over your actions. A ninja should learn to control their emotions, yet not lose them as they make us human. I'm used to being hated, so I don't let things like that get to me. But please, and I am begging you, to at least stop fangirling Sasuke and focus on becoming a Kunoichi. I don't want Hinata-san and me to be the only girls who are actually focused on being Kunoichi. Naruto whined. Oh wait. You're a boy. Sakura shouted before sweating when Naruto went into the fetal position, lying against the wall. Sakura we don't mention Naruto's lack of feminine appearance around her. Sasuke whispered to Sakura who blushed. She's kind of sensitive of it and tries to hide the fact of it in public by not correcting it. I see Sakura began to pity Naruto as to having it even worse than her. Sure, she got a big forehead instead of feminine appeal, but to look completely like a boy. That had to be bad. Hey, Naruto, you said you finally gotten the Henge no Jutsu down. Sasuke said, trying to snap Naruto out of her depression which did the trick. Yeah. Look Aka-san. Sasuke. I made a new version of it for fun, too. Naruto made the hand sign for the Henge and was engulfed by smoke. See. Naruto chimed in the form of a sexy white blonde with twin ponytails and wearing a simple bikini. An Eru too. Mikoto roared in anger. Why the heck did you turn yourself into that? Well, I was having a hard time making the body right, so since the woman's adult body was very curvy, I thought if I could turn into a sexy woman correctly, I could get the Henge down and I did. Naruto turned back into normal. The books I found in Itachi's room while cleaning was useful for getting the body right and also I found for some reason it can knock out some guys. Naruto chimed as Mikoto noticed Itachi trying to get away, also failing to look innocent as he was holding his nose with a hand though some blood had seeped past the fingers. Maul. Ape him. Catch Itachi. Mikoto shouted as both Pokémon ran after Itachi who bolted. Wahahaha Itachi your porno is so burnt to ashes. Mikoto evilly chuckled while going for Itachi's room. Your mother is scary Sakura shivered, glad Mikoto went away. We know. Sasuke and Naruto sighed in unison as Sakura raised an eyebrow. Naruto, why are you living with the Uchiha? Sakura asked as she was confused till Naruto held up the makeup work which had Uchiha Sasuke and Uchiha Naruto on them. You're adopted. Yep. Though, people still refuse to accept I was adopted into the Uchiha clan. Sure, I'll never have the Sharingan, but I'm fine with it as I have my own abilities to make up for it. Naruto chimed. But, seriously, I'm amazed Sasuke's fan club didn't get the memo as Sasuke went around shouting it to the world after I was adopted into the clan. Sakura paled, now remembering Sasuke being very talkative about the fact of getting a sister after the Uchiha massacres. Like a care if I awaken my Sharingan or not. Sasuke snorted. I am going to be a genius in my own way like Naruto. That way I beat my brother in a different field where he is weak in and get out of his shadow, as well as the shadow of the old Uchiha clan, as now the Uchiha clan is reborn. Reborn? Sakura asked, wondering what Sasuke was talking about. Sasuke is saying the Uchiha will be no longer relying on our Kekkei Genkai as our main strength. Sakura turned around to find Sasuke's father, Fugaku, in a wheelchair, along with a small blue canine creature, and what looked like a bell on legs on his lap, and a one-leg well, it looked like that to Sakura owl standing on the back of the wheelchair. Dad. You're home. Sasuke chimed, happy as Naruto grinned. Yeah, sorry. I had a lot of paperwork come in the past week and did several late-nighters. Fugaku sighed. But, since it was clear that our clan died because of our weaknesses of depending too much on our Kekkei Genkai, we who are left decided to get ourselves off our dependence on our eyes and work more with our minds than before. We also gained new allies in the form of Pokémon who happened to lose their homes when the real murder set up fires as distractions to keep Konoha and its protector busy during the massacre. What are Pokémon? Sakura asked, having heard the term from Naruto. Simple, the creatures around us including the one you are holding is Pokémon. Naruto chimed happily to explain. Pokémon are creatures who live all around and are able to use attacks similar to ninjas' jutsu. However, most people overlook Pokémon after Pokémon have avoided human contact for a long time after some tragedy ended the harmony between Pokémon and humans. Pokémon can understand human language pretty well and are quite smart, so they great partners. So, when I was adopted into the Uchiha clan, Fugaku-san and Aka-san also took in the Pokémon that lived in the building I lived in outside Konoha that the murderer attempted to set on fire to catch Konoha's attention. But my roommates put it though the building became unlivable because of it and then remodeled the Uchiha compound to make it a home for Pokémon, thanks to the wildfire that did happen destroyed their homes, and now this is a haven for Pokémon. Well, the Uchiha clan is becoming a clan that partners up with Pokémon, much like the Inuzuka clan had canine partners. We kind of discovered the Sharingan as actually see Pokémon that can become invisible like I can, as my body somewhat has ghost-type Pokémon qualities. Naruto sighed, shivering as she remembered the times Makoto managed to catch her. However, I don't know all the abilities I do have as I can also possibly use Pokémon attacks, though the only one I have been able to learn was Shadow Ball, Recover, Refresh, Teleport, and attacks that use aura, which is like the energy from our cells, I think, and used to make chakra. Naruto then grinned. But, Aka-san taught me a different version of the Bushin, so I might finally pass that stupid exam, as my chakra is too high and lacks control to do a normal Bushin. Naruto chimed happily as Sasuke's Nadu mimicked her pose of her fist in the air. Bonsly, bone. Sakura looked at Bonsly that was oddly happy. Bonsly. Bonsly says it wants to stay with Sakura. Naruto explained as Sakura blushed. I can't. Doesn't it belong to the Uchiha clan? Sakura shouted with shock. Nope. It's a wild one. The Uchiha compound serves as a safe haven for wild Pokémon, and the Pokémon we the Uchiha clan have partnered up with. Fugaku said with a smile. It's the Pokémon who usually make the choice on who they wanted to partner up with. So, basically, anyone can be partnered with a Pokémon and that Pokémon there wants to be with you. But what do I feed it and how do I take care of it? Sakura asked, not knowing if her parents would let her keep a Pokémon. I'll make some food for it and luckily since Bonsly is a rock type, it usually absorbs all its food and means no waste. Also, what color would you like Bonsly's Pokeball be? Naruto chimed with a grin. Pokeball? Sakura asked as Bonsly cocked its head. Yeah. Naruto reinvented what people used in the past to catch Pokémon and carry them easily around without worries. Sasuke showed Sakura his Pokeballs which were blue with different color markings. Naruto makes them from special apricorns and then uses Fuinjutsu to make it work as a Pokeball so that we can carry larger Pokémon without losing stealth as well as recall Pokémon if they are in a very dangerous situation. You could say Naruto's a genius in Pokémon and becoming slowly a Fuinjutsu master even though she sucks at the rest, even though she is studying to become a medic nin. Ack. Naruto got Sasuke in a headlock. How dare you insult my dream? Naruto hissed in anger as Sakura and Fugaku sweated. And you told me to develop a thicker skin. Sasuke cried out as Naruto gave him a nudie. Sakura then smiled while looking down at Bonsly. Maybe having a Pokémon wouldn't be bad, especially now that she was seeing two people in a brand new light and maybe becoming Sasuke's friend would be better than being an annoying fangirl. All three children didn't see Fugaku flinched as he heard Itachi scream and sweated at seeing Makoto dragging an injured Itachi outside with a large amount of magazine and books, along with 2 Pokémon. Fugaku guessed Makoto finally got some partners, even though she often scared Pokémon thanks to her high emotions when she did show them. Though, he had a hunch as to what Makoto was holding and prayed that Itachi didn't hurt really badly because of it, as he is a growing man and usually forces on work instead of his social life. Pokemon 2. Around a year later. Oh, man, I'm so nervous. 12-year-old Naruto sweated, twitching some as she was nervous as names were called for the Genin exam. She brought a canteen full of water to hopefully make 2 Mizubushin, which Makoto showed her how to do. "Naruto, are you alright?" Sasuke asked, snapping Naruto out of her jitters. "Just nervous," Naruto sighed. She wanted to pass so badly, but she was wondering if it was alright she was using Mizubushin. Was it against the rules? "Jill, will you?" Sasuke smiled at Naruto. "You'll pass for sure this time." "I know it." "Thanks, Sasuke." Naruto, however, was not convinced. She already failed twice and she didn't know if Iruka and Mizuki would be against her with using Mizubushin. It was just really making her nervous. "Naruto." Naruto snapped out of her thoughts when her name was called while seeing Sasuke had already gone thanks to the stupid academy teachers for not updating the roll to change her surname from Uzumaki to Uchiha, and went down into the exam room where Mizuki and Iruka was sitting at a table with Konoha Hit at. "Okay, Naruto, we need to make 3 Bushin." "Alright." Naruto opened the large canteen and made the hand seals for the Mizubushin no Jutsu. Mizubushin no Jutsu. The water from the canteen came out and formed 3 Bushin of Naruto. "Please, oh, please let this be enough." "Naruto, why did you use Mizubushin?" "I asked for the Bushin no Jutsu." Iruka sighed before raising an eyebrow when Naruto flinched. I can't do the Bushin no Jutsu. Aka-san taught me the Mizubushin in its place." Naruto looked down as Iruka raised an eyebrow. "Aka-san?" Iruka asked while Mizuki's glare at the blonde went unnoticed by both as Naruto fell over. "Iruka-sensei. How can you not know about me being adopted by the Uchiha? You knew I lived with them, but they also adopted me 4 years ago." Naruto whined in annoyance. "Then why is your surname still Uzumaki?" Mizuki smirked, which made Naruto frown as she now knew one of the 2 sensei were against her. "Because there are morons in the academy records who keep forgetting to change it. Even after the complaints Aka-san and Otu-san gave them." Naruto sighed, "But, really, I can't do the Bushin. My chakra control sucks, and thanks to my parents and older brother always working most of the time, I have no one to help me get it right." "Why didn't you ask one of us?" Iruka asked, confused. "I did. No one wants to help me except my busy family." Now, Iruka instantly blinked at Naruto in shock. He didn't know that. Naruto's grades were middle-low at best with all the pranks she pulled, but he thought the grades were mainly because Naruto ignoring his studies. "I see, Naruto, I will need to talk to the Hokage before I give you an answer if you pass or fail." Naruto looked down, knowing probably this would be a fail. "However, I want to know something. What jutsu have you been practice?" Iruka asked, remembering for the Uchiha clan, they focused a lot on fire jutsu. "Oh, I am good with you in jutsu, though Aka-san doesn't like me messing with sealing arts after blowing my eyebrows off. Thank goodness my hair grows at a very quick rate." Naruto sighed, chuckling sheepishly at remembering the failed explosive tag that she was trying to make a similar one to a power self-destruct attack in power. Makoto went ballistic after that mistake. "I also have been trying to learn medic jutsu. But other than that, just some other stuff, but that sums it up." "You have been studying sealing arts?" Mizuki glared at Naruto, which Iruka noticed this time. "Hi. I got into it trying to use it instead of a lost method for making something I was interested in." Naruto smirked, remembering now her Pokeballs were loved by the Uchiha and also Sakura. However, Mizuki wondered if the Kyuubi container was really the Kyuubi reincarnated as Iruka nodded. "Alright. I will talk to the Hokage. You will know if you passed or failed tomorrow." Naruto frowned and walked out of the classroom. Naruto sat next to Sasuke, who instantly noticed the mission hit I-8. Sasuke patted Naruto's shoulder as the last students went in for their tests and passed. "I'll treat you to some ramen." "Nah, I will be getting my results tomorrow." Sasuke frowned at hearing that. They better not be planning to kick Naruto out. Sasuke was now worried as everyone was dismissed. They both headed over to the swing which Naruto got onto before Sakura ran up with Bonsly in her arms, but she frowned when she saw Naruto's headband missing. "Oh, Naruto. Don't worry about it, I don't know yet if I have passed or not." Naruto sighed, though unable to put up a grin or smirk on her face. She didn't even bring out her Pokémon as she put them in their Pokeballs, as the examiners failed her the first time she took the Genin exam because having her Snorant out. "Then, you shouldn't worry. You'll pass, I know it." Sakura chimed, hoping Naruto would pass. She saw all the hard work Naruto did that and the fact the blonde was a ditz and unorganized when it came to her room which had research materials, scrolls, and even medical study equipment and other tools shattered around her room. I know, but still, Naruto let out a sigh, closing her eyes before getting a strange feeling and focusing her aura to see around her and found the familiar aura of Mizuki in the tree and she could tell something was off. Can you two leave me alone for a bit? I want to be alone. This instantly got Sakura and Sasuke's attention. Even though Sakura only became friends with Naruto only a few months ago, both Sasuke and her new Naruto would never announce she wanted to be alone, as she would just go off to do it. They looked at Naruto to see she had a serious face and left her, but hide nearby in some bushes. They were both shocked when Mizuki appeared behind Naruto. This can't be good. Sasuke said as Sakura nodded, both realizing Naruto had probably the same feeling they did. Onaki Naruto. Naruto, you knocked out the freaking Hokage. Do you know how much trouble you are going to be in? Sakura shouted as Naruto opened the scroll of seals Mizuki had asked Naruto to steal as a way to pass the Genin exam. Only thing was Naruto knew Mizuki was being an idiot, thinking he could trick the mistress of pranks into such a stupid trap. I didn't mean to. I thought he was one of the Anbu and used my sexy no jutsu on him. But I really didn't know Aji-sen was a prev. Naruto sighed. It was really easy for her to get into places since she could teleport. So she used teleport to get into the Hokage tower, but then the Hokage found her and she used her sexy no jutsu, which knocked out the Hokage. Plus, I left a letter telling him what is going on. And I also told both my O2-sen. Both? Sakura looked at Sasuke with a raised eyebrow. There's a Pokémon who took care of Naruto before she got adopted into the Uchiha clan, and both my father and this Pokémon are overprotective of Naruto. Sasuke sighed, hoping Mizuki would hurry up. The act was that Naruto let Sakura and him join in on learning a move after they accidentally found Naruto and act innocence to get the Chunin's guard down and then strike the traitor down. So, what's in the scroll? Sakura asked when she noticed Naruto paled. Ah. Kage Bushin no Jutsu. My least favorite art. Naruto groaned while Sasuke read what was about the technique. Naruto, you might want to learn this one. It seems your out of control chakra actually will be beneficial with this technique as it makes flesh and blood clones and require a lot of chakra. Sasuke pointed out as Naruto blushed before punching Sasuke in the side. Ow, let's see what would be a good one for me to learn. I don't think so, Sasuke, now that I look at these other jutsu, most of this is sealing arts including Yuzushi and Konoha's sealing techniques that are very dangerous. In fact, the least lethal looking one in here is this Bushin one. Naruto nervously chuckled as both Sakura and Sasuke gulped, backing away from Naruto and the scroll. Well, learn it anyways. With how both your control is at, you should be able to make at least one clone without much worries. No, we'll just hide in the bushes and give your support. Sakura chimed as Naruto sweated at the fact they were actually hiding in the bushes. It's ninjutsu, not fuinjutsu. It's not going to blow up in my face. Naruto growled as she was amazed at how her adopted brother and friend doubted her abilities. Better safe than sorry. Sasuke chimed with Sakura and him bother unaffected by the Naruto's now mastered Uchiha death glare. Well, because of this, you both got to do funny pictures for the yearbook. Naruto pouted while going back to the scroll to learn the jutsu at hand. She was going to make her two friends pay for abandoning her, thinking she was going to blow up a jutsu like some of her mistake seals have done. Where is that traitor? Sakura and Sasuke thought after watching Naruto for nearly an hour, panting after learning the jutsu quite well. Both were beginning to wonder if the academy's test really failing Konoha, if no one had even noticed Naruto had knocked out the Hokage claimed mistake and stolen a dangerous scroll, and she failed the stupid exam twice, possibly 3 times. However, they both sighed in relief when their sensei from the academy finally found Naruto, but not the one they were hoping for. Why is Iruka here? Sakura whispered as Naruto put on an act of being innocence which convinced Iruka, who raised an eyebrow at the talking 12-year-old. I don't know. He probably guessed Naruto would be here. Sasuke sighed, remembering even though Iruka was strict that he was also kind to Naruto as well. Naruto, what's up with that scroll you're carrying? Iruka asked, confused as to what is going on. Mizuki-sensei told me about it in this place. He said if I could show you I'd learn the techniques in this scroll, you'd let me become a ninja. Naruto chimed as Iruka's eyes widened, but not before Naruto pushed both of them out of the way of a barrage of kunai, though a few got into Naruto's back. I'm impressed that you figured out where to go. Mizuki chimed as Naruto got off of Iruka. Ow dude, that was low. Naruto groaned, pulling out kunai as Iruka looked at Naruto with shock. Naruto, however, found one kunai where she couldn't reach it. Ack. Come here you. Mizuki and Iruka sweated as Sasuke smacked his forehead, while Sasuke bit her lips to keep herself from bursting into laughter. Only Naruto could do something quite random in a very serious moment as she was going in circles trying to get the kunai out. Naruto. Give me the scroll. Mizuki ordered while Iruka pulled out a kunai. Don't let him have it, Naruto. Protect it with your life. Iruka shouted, neither noticing Naruto's frown at them and still trying to get the last kunai in her back out while playing around. It's very dangerous with a record of a completely forbidden ninja art and used you to get it. Yeah, I know, but you guys don't have to be so dramatic about it. Naruto finally got the kunai and pulled it out. I'm not a moron, though I do have blonde moments. Naruto mentally added, but kept her mouth shut. Naruto, even if you've read it, it is meaningless. I can show you what it means. Iruka realized what Mizuki was about to say and told him to shut his mouth, but Mizuki continued. You know what really happened in the incident where the fox demon was sealed up again 12 years ago, don't you? Naruto glared at Mizuki, annoyed at him for mentioning that, but Sakura and Sasuke was very curious of what Mizuki was saying. Since that incident the people of our village have been bound by the strictest decree. Naruto raised an eyebrow as she was confused. You wouldn't as a part of the decree was that everyone would know about it, except you. Except me? Naruto asked, wondering if he was talking about his mother. She knew his mother had special chakra, which was why she was made into a Kyuubi container, and she didn't know if her chakra was special, as well as it was hard to tell. What was the decree? That no one must tell you that what you really are is the demon fox. Mizuki shouted with a grin as Naruto blinked in shock as Iruka shouted to Mizuki to stop and ran towards the silver hair man. In other words, you are the nine-tailed fox spirit that destroyed the village. Until, at last, our beloved hero, the Yondaime Hokage, trapped and bound you into that form. Mizuki dodged Iruka and threw one of the large shuriken at Naruto. Naruto. Watch out. Iruka shouted as Sakura and Sasuke snapped out of their own shock and jumped out of the bushes, only to become shocked again when seeing the large shuriken stop in front of Naruto, glowing light blue. What the? Baka. You can't bind such a demon into a human form. Naruto sighed before smirking at Mizuki, her eyes glowing light blue. But, now I get it. Who else is a better container than the child of the last Kyuubi container? I always thought people hated me because my mother was the last container, and I thought the villagers blamed me for the Kyuubi attack, as childbirth weakens the seal. Yet, now I know I am the third Uzumaki to be taking on the burden of holding the Kyuubi, just like the Shodai Hokage's wife and my mom. So, don't insult what we do to protect our home Konoha. Naruto shouted, launching the shuriken back at Mizuki who dodged it by jumping onto the ground where Naruto was at. So, you are the Kyuubi's child. Mizuki smirked. If he killed the Kyuubi's child, then he would be seen as a hero. No, I am just a container of the demon. It's living jail. Naruto smirked as the shuriken turned around and headed for Mizuki again. Mizuki dodged and grabbed it as Naruto panted, dropping the confusion she was using. Shot. I don't have total control over that move I just learned. Though, how did I learn it this instant? Heh. Nice trick demon, but you're dead. Mizuki sent the shuriken at Naruto again. Naruto. Get out of the way. Iruka was running towards Naruto, but tripped as the shuriken as Naruto's eyes widened in fear before her body moved on its own. Victini. Naruto shouted as steam of fire come out of her mouth, stopping the shuriken in place and burning it. Burp. Naruto gasped, burning smoke afterwards. Excuse me, maybe I shouldn't have put in those lychee berries in those rice balls for lunch, teeny. Naruto coughed, though very shocked she just did a flamethrower attack. Sure, psychic Pokémon powers could be related to her ghost-type powers from Giratina, but fire-type moves. Now that was confusing for Naruto. So, you are a demon. Mizuki growled, grabbing his other shuriken off his back. Not so fast, Vic. Naruto made a cross-hand seal. Kage Bushin no Jutsu. Naruto shouted for Mizuki to gap when hundreds of Naruto appeared around him. Attack, Victini. Naruto cried a war cry as the mob attacked the man. Overkill. Sakura and Sasuke sighed as Iruka looked at them. What? What just happened? Iruka asked, wondering if the two genin heard what had gone on. Naruto knew Mizuki was up to no good, so we joined in, and Naruto took the scroll and learned one of the moves in it after we dropped out of wanting to, after she pointed out a lot of the jutsu in the scroll was dangerous, but now we know why Konoha hates Naruto. Naruto and my family thought it was because of her mother, who was the last container of the Kyuubi. Yet, now we know Naruto is the current container. Sasuke let out a sigh while Sakura nodded in agreement before she noticed Naruto was getting out of hand. Naruto, stop it before you kill him. Sakura growled as Naruto and her clones stopped and sheepishly scratched the back of their heads as the clones disappeared to expose an out cold and clearly not going anywhere idiot Mizuki. Sorry, it's just he attacked Iruka-sensei, Victini. Naruto covered her mouth, realizing what she said. Nani, teeny. Naruto, this isn't the time to experiment with catchphrases. Iruka sighed as Sasuke let out a sigh of relief as Sakura wondered if the sudden new word related to Naruto's strange ability to use Pokémon abilities like jutsu. But, come here Naruto and close your eyes. Hi. Victini. Naruto ran up to Iruka and closed her eyes. She felt the goggles she wore taken off her forehead and something put on her forehead. Congratulations, Naruto, you are now a Genin of Konoha. The Hokage agreed you should pass, though right now he is mad at you. Iruka smiled at Naruto who opened her eyes to find Iruka without his headband. And, I'll treat you all to ramen, but Sakura and Sasuke, you have to keep the fact Naruto is the Kyuubi container a secret act. Victini. I passed. I finally passed, Victini. I'm a ninja, Victini. Naruto hugged Iruka who blushed as both Sasuke and Sakura was snickering at the embarrassed look on Iruka's face. Naruto. You're a girl. Iruka screamed as the old Sandaime looked at the group of four through his crystal ball. Hiruzen smiled at the fact that Naruto at least had two people who accepted her status, but was kind of annoyed that people haven't realized Naruto was a girl or adopted into the Uchiha clan. Though, now he was going to make sure they redesign the test a little thanks to what he found from Iruka and the hidden complaints of the Uchiha that several teachers had hid from him. Well, to make it up for Naruto, I think I can place Naruto with her two friends, thanks to Naruto being stuck at the lowest, thanks to still not being able to do the normal henge, Sakura is the top Kunoichi, and Sasuke is the rookie of the year not a soul is going to realize I purposely put them together. Hiruzen smirked as Sakura and Sasuke began to tease Iruka who was tomato red for not realizing he had an extra Kunoichi in his class as Naruto was dragging him as she wanted the ramen he promised. The Hokage knew Iruka was not going to be able to live that down for a while. Now, Hiruzen just had to think of a good sensei for the three, that is, till his two advisors Uchiha Kaharu and Mitakada Hamura come into his office with Shimura Danzu, and he instantly knew it was going to be war. What if Naruto was nine-tailed in Pokémon? End here, and thanks for watching my video till the end.